Okay, that's kind of silly. Yeah. Anyways, hey guys, what's going on? Welcome up, Joe. You're unmuted. I think so. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Also, a happy what would have been JJ's 13th birthday today. I know we're dealing with that too. So, welcome in.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Welcome everybody in chat.
Yeah. I was telling Joe just now backstage, just chit chat. And I was saying how I got dressed and then I went to Walmart and then I had to get dressed again because it's so humid here. It's disgusting. So I might have to jump up every now and then and turn my window unit on because it gets hot up in here. So yeah, we have that going on. But today we're going to be talking about the stuff the filings with Vallow Daybell, okay, and the response from the judge, as well as going into the Boudreaux case. So we'll probably get like kind of part one done of that today. Somewhere, we'll walk away today with a little more than what we showed up with, I think, allegedly. So
supposedly.
Mm-hmm. That's the plan, at least. So we'll see. But welcome in, everybody. Yeah, thank you so much. Y'all, Jason's still not back home yet. And I don't know what to do with myself, okay? I really don't know what to do with myself. He couldn't come home Friday because he's diabetic and he got a feeding tube. And so what they're having to do is like there's only certain product or whatever that can go into said feeding tube. And so they were training me how to do a feeding tube Friday. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But he has to have a certain diabetic drink, I guess, or food. I don't know. And they didn't have it in stock. So we had to wait because of the holiday weekend. We have to wait till Tuesday. So hopefully he'll be home because he's been gone since the 10th. And I'm lovesick, not having him around. And it's just crazy.
So you might have the possibility of doing a home food tube for him.
Yeah, because the tube it's installed. And so that's how he'll eat and drink for now for about 6 to 8 months. They finally went in through his throat and they finally found what Jason identified and called a flap. I was like, well, what is it? Because like he was having a hard time eating and drinking. He would choke. And so, but nobody would ever see it when they would do a scope or anything. So they finally identified what he calls the flap. So that's there and it's quite significant too. So what they're having to do is, just put him on a diet where he can eat, drink, and, survive. He's lost so much weight because of this. So this way he'll be able to get all the nutrients and everything that food does for you through that tube, and it'll allow his throat to completely heal. Hopefully. God, please.
So he just invented a new diet, the esophageal flap diet.
There you go. and that's the one Jason is on. He's
Oh man.
and he loves to eat. Okay, so I mean, I know it's so it's tough to watch someone who is so good. He's so good to other people. He's got a good heart, and it's just like his world just is falling in around him, and I don't know. It just sucks to see somebody I love reduce the quality of life that I know he deserves. Like that's hard to watch. Period. So it's been challenging.
Yeah.
And I mean, it didn't happen to me.
Right. And someone his age too. Like you don't expect it
Yeah.
at this stage of your life.
53. Yeah, he's young. Yeah. Younger. I'll just say younger.
He is younger than me. Like I got the 55 in there. I got double nickels.
Yeah. That's crazy. Still, I can't believe that. Oh yeah. Well, how y'all doing? How's it going? What y'all got for us today? I always wait for them to show me things, but they don't. No, I'm glad y'all are here though. So you want to go over Lori Daybell's latest and greatest court system?
Yeah, I thought what we would do is go over her motions, not in great detail, just like rehash, like here's the things that she wanted to dismiss the trial on, and then get into Judge Boreski's like, but he goes into detail on all 5 of her points. So I thought that was that would be a good way to approach it, right?
I think so. I think a lot of people have probably watched others, and I mean, that's fine. I'm not trying to dilute it or anything, but you can only hash it down so many ways, but
you can. It is what it is. And he ruled how he ruled.
Angela says, let's snark on Medusa. I like the way you think, Angela. Are you done? Yes, I know. It's like he has a teenager or some kind of experience with a teenager, because dealing with her, I would liken it to a teenager with an attitude from hell.
Yeah, and that's kind of what struck me that day, because I showed up for court so early that I sat in his court for an hour and a half before her hearing, and he's just so even keel. Like he is so even keel, and he was not in that hearing. Like he took it to a whole nother level, and I was like, yeah, all right.
And y'all know, I was like 2 hours early on accident that day because I don't obviously know how to convert time zones. I was like 10:30. All right. Yay. Across the board, 10:30 Central. So I'm ahead. And so instead of starting a new stream, we went ahead with it and we snarked. But I mean, and then I rewound it and replayed it so many times and I enjoyed it. So a lot.
I could still watch it again.
Y'all stayed though. So it's not just me. Just picking. I mean, it's good to finally to kind of like see her get put in her place. I don't know. It just is satisfying.
Right. And well, what's the most satisfying about it for me is that he has been over accommodating, and he used that phrase that day, but he has been so over accommodating for her, telling her to rephrase it differently, telling her she needs to do this, she needs to refile it this way, like so over accommodating. And that day he was just like over it. He was so over everything. Trina said,
you here 15 minutes ago?
Exactly. Yes. Says, I do believe I was sitting here 15 minutes ago when I granted you a motion.
It was good. Look, I'm getting too excited about it.
And then she's like, but that's the first motion ever. And he's like, no, it's not.
But all the other judges,
None of the other judges put my name when they sent me out to trial up in Idaho. They didn't include my name in the juror questionnaires. I bet they probably did, actually.
You know his ass is dark now. That's all I'm saying. You are dark. Just yeah, because it
Oh,
was look. I found that kind of interesting in her. She did an interview post conviction, right? Which I just kind of had that feeling like, after she was found guilty for murdering my uncle or conspiring to, whatever. I was like, oh, wouldn't that be bad? Like if she did that, like another interview, and then boom. I was like, well, I'll be damned. Because it's all about how she wants to present herself to the world anyways. It's about public perception, and not at all just it doesn't just end with the court now. Now we have people who will interview anyway. So in that interview, she said whenever the interviewee or interviewer, I don't know, Brittany, I think her name is, she said something about how Judge Boreski treated her pretty well, pretty fairly. And Lori was like, "Oh, he did?" Like that was news to her. And so she already didn't think that Judge Boreski was obviously treating her fairly. And
yeah.
so that was kind of like, wow, she does not know how to read the room. Yeah, he's 10 dark.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Everybody in the courtroom is, except for juror number 15.
Jermaine. Jermaine said if Ray is Cain, then Boreski must be Lucifer. Holding the pitchfork. Straight up. That's bad. Can you imagine the world through Lori Vallow Daybell's eyes?
I honestly
Quite
can't,
dark.
but I've kind of tried. I've tried to put the pieces together. I've tried to figure out how she went from just kind of weird, touchy-feely family, Southern California Mormon to unaliving her husband and children and future husband's wife. And I can't do it. I can't put it together.
It's so wrong. It's just so wrong. She's persecuted though, right? I would say it resembles a lot of persecution complex for sure. I think so. Golden Rule says, I'm thankful that I can't.
Yeah.
That ain't no lie. That's a blessing. So
yeah.
The courtroom is dark. I think so.
I've got the document pulled up if you want to share it.
Yeah. Do I need to do anything? I need to stop doing that. Stop sharing my screen. But I think you can do it, right? Let me know if you can't.
It's up there. It's up there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's my first day. Did y'all know? It is.
No comment. No comment. No, I'm done. I'm out. So this was her May 1st filing. Motion for a new trial. It's not handwritten, so that means she had the help of her paralegal in this.
I would love to hear what they think.
Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be an amazing interview to interview her paralegal? Oh my gosh.
Right. And just be like, okay, let's go through the whole thing together.
And her paralegal would be like, I knew I had to do my hair really good every day, so she would let me sit at the table with her, and she would put the advisory council back at the back table so I could sit up there with her if I did my hair just right. The motion is filed pursuant to blah 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 blah. The motion is accompanied by the following memorandum of points and authorities: juror misconduct. This is that Fox 10 News clip of Carl, Rule 404B.
I feel sorry for her driving home yesterday. No, that is not what you need to say. Oh my gosh. Right.
And I'm really, really curious on that point. If the judge has had him, Carl, in chambers to interview him about what he meant to say that day, if he misspoke. And I'm pretty sure he misspoke. He probably was. He was probably confused, but if
he would have reiterated it, if not,
yes, right. Yeah, he was probably confused. He's in front of the press. He's getting chased down the street, down the sidewalk. I saw that in person. I didn't chase him. It's okay, Carl. You can come and interview on my channel anyway.
Yeah,
Sometime.
you didn't hear pitter pat over here.
Right.
Or like Tosh said, is it Tosh? Oh, she said that she felt like a sizzling piece of steak or something. I'm like, wow.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
That's scary.
But I like her though. I thought her comments were the most reasonable and the most like even across the board.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's not also offering any new interviews. So Lauren from Hidden True Crime, how do you get those interviews? I want to know your secrets.
Very
Because
carefully.
as soon as you interview people, they're like off of the table. They're like, we're not interviewing with anybody else. And actually, Lauren with Hidden True Crime, was mentioned in the state's response to this motion. We're not going to go over that now, but her interview, like, cited her interview with Carl and with one of the other jurors. Anyway,
she's going to be exonerated anyways.
Yes,
allegedly,
and then she filed Part B as preclusion of Tylee and Alex's statements and impermissible expert testimony. Daniel Coons.
I mean, one could say that she precluded her daughter. So ultimately, it goes back onto Lori. It's Lori's fault for why Lori's bitching and why Lori can't have her way. It's because you can't have both. Okay.
Right. Like, either you get Lonnie Dworkin in or you have a speedy trial, but you can't have both.
Right. And she was given the option many times to waive her speedy trial, whatever.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yep. Speedy trial. So she can blame herself, is what I'm trying to say. Somebody give her a mirror that's not, because the jail mirrors aren't too great. I'm just letting you know. They're like, it looks like they shined up a stainless steel pan or something. It's on the wall. Anyways. Yeah, you can't really see yourself very good. So,
well, she doesn't see herself accurately in a 100% accurate mirror anyway, right?
You're right. She's got the rose-colored glasses on too. Only for herself.
I just said something really profound. We should like stop and write that down.
I'll rewind.
Okay. Hit it on replay, guys. Then we have Daniel Coons, discovery violation. The gray key information was missing from Charles Vallow's cell phone. That was a legitimate point in my mind at that time. We're going to see how the judge rules on that in just a second. Prosecutorial misconduct. The state elicited irrelevant, prejudicial, and improper character evidence when she asked Chandler fire Captain Keller, while juror number 15 was on his cell phone, by the way, if he overheard any conversations with this defendant. Ms. Trina Kay asked Captain Keller on direct examination, did you overhear this defendant? He responded in the affirmative that he overheard someone stating, we're not getting invited to the pool party because of the commotion at the house. I remember that.
I mean, that's what Chad told Emma too. What do the neighbors think? They were so worried about what everybody thinks, but they never stop long enough to look past their nose on why they're getting neighbor. What they put out. You know, it's always me. For sure.
And oh no, look at the very last line, the very last part of the last line of page 3 ID. This statement caught this defendant off guard. Oh no, it caught her off guard.
She's admitting something.
She got caught off guard by something that was provided in discovery.
Sure about as caught off guard as he got whenever he heard her say that. I mean,
yeah, it's not a legal defense that you were caught off guard because you had this in discovery.
One thing you don't hear Lori Vallow Daybell say ever is, "I'm innocent. I did not do this." You know,
she said there were no murders committed in her statement at the end of the Idaho trial.
Yeah, And
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as I heard her say that, my ears perked up and I was like, you're right. Sacrifice. Because that's
Oh,
what they
wow.
were.
Oh,
If you
wow.
just change those words, then that's what that means. They were not murdered. You just have to change the, what do you call that? People like Lori and Melanie and Chad. What do you call that? There's a certain word. No, I'll think of it in 10 years. I can't think of it right now.
I'm trying to get there. I'm not getting there yet. Usually I can. Usually I can get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just part of their code words. Like they all had code words that they used in association with that.
I'm thinking vernacular, but it's another word like that.
Terminology.
Kinda. It's got to do with terminology. Vocabulary.
We're just dancing around it.
Yeah. Anyways.
All right.
I'm gonna have to Google it.
Yes.
Verbiage.
So she was caught off guard during closing arguments while addressing the justification defense. Ms. Trina K told the jury, she says Ms. Trina K. She doesn't just say Ms. Trina K. She doesn't say the prosecutor. She says Ms. Trina K told the jury that this defendant was not entitled to any of the self-defense instructions, blah, 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 blah. We're not going to spend too much time on that. I can't get down that. Finally, Ms. Trina K commented several more times on this defendant's demeanor during the incident, the drive to the police station on the body camera, and told the jury, you did not see her cry in that interview. Yet, okay, this this part gets me.
And if they did, then what?
Right, yes. Yet knowing there were portions of this defendant's interview that had been cut from the full interview admitted by the state, where she sat in the room and did show emotion and can be seen grabbing a Kleenex.
Okay. Whoopity-doo, da. All I'm saying is, again, what does that change? Nothing. What, did you have a feeling? One for yourself? We know. Okay, tell us something we don't know, girl.
She wasn't grabbing any Kleenexes at the scene.
No, because
at all. No. Right. Alex Murdaugh grabbed Kleenexes when he was in that police car. Like,
that's another one right there.
that is like he was like, I think he might have had some snot globules, maybe.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The court precluded this defendant from presenting a defense by striking her witnesses. What witnesses did you bring to the stand? Like she said in front of the entire court, I have no witnesses, I have no evidence. And then in front of the jury, the defense rests.
Yeah. And she said that in the beginning, like she was planning on not having any witnesses. Like, you can't hold that against me. Right. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't. The jurors that did speak out afterwards, they said that they didn't hold it against her. Okay, so get over it, girl.
During cross-examination of a civilian witness, Serena Sharp, in relation to testimony regarding religious believes. No, girl, it's beliefs. Religious beliefs with an FS. The court commented during the prosecutor's objection to relevancy, stating, I guess to the extent that you are comparing yourself to these biblical figures, I will allow it. Part of the state's case was to establish that this defendant had stepped outside of the Mormon religion by claiming she was a translated being, specifically in text messages saying she would be like Nephi. She would be like Nephi. And that these messages were nothing more than part of a conspiracy to kill Charles Vallow. The defendant attempted to establish that being translated was a regular part of the Mormon religion, blah, blah, blah. Argument and authority. We don't need to go over all that.
I mean, yeah, which Nephi was it? 1 through 25? I mean, come on. We don't.
Right.
Girl, we know what you did, and we know what you meant by that. Everybody and their Mormon mother Okay.
All right.
No,
So Judge Boreski weighed in on this in detail. It's funny, though, part of her court exhibit was Fox 10's interview with Juror 15. That's interesting to me because I used that in part of my exhibit too, but it wasn't a court exhibit. It was just a what the heck is this guy doing exhibit.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
This is Judge Boreski coming down a couple of days ago. It's called a minute entry, and that's basically a ruling from the court. Minute entries can be a summary of what happened in a court proceeding, or it can also be the court ruling on an issue. The court has received the defendant's motion for a new trial, state's response to the defendant's motion for a new trial, which we're not going to go over again, and the defendant's reply to the state's motion to the defendant's motion for a new trial. Ooh, I don't know that I saw that one.
What is it? What'd you say?
The third bullet point here. I may need to go find that because that's got to be another like
snark
crazy. Yeah, that's going to be some crazy stuff.
It wasn't fair. It's not fair.
So it's kind of like cross, or you have direct, you have cross, you have redirect, you have recross sometimes. So the defendant's motion is direct, state's response is cross, defendant's reply is redirect.
Gotcha.
The court will address the issues in order in which they appear in the defendant's motion. Juror misconduct. Here we go. This is Judge Boreski's response to that. At best, Juror 15 gave a single statement which seems to be in conflict with all of his other statements, which he specifically denied any misconduct.
Then you got to go to 1 down there. You got a little
footnote 1.
Footnote, yeah. You know, I'm not good with the words. I can't even find them.
Even if there were misconduct, the defendant's own motion undercuts her argument. Oh my gosh. He's saying, oh my gosh. This footnote is awesome by Judge Boreski. Even if there were juror misconduct, the defendant's own motion undercuts her argument that prejudice exists because she points out that Juror 15 stated he was leaning towards... Yes, we talked about this. You and I talked about this. He was leaning towards not guilty through deliberations, a distinct indication that if Juror 15 did not have any extraneous information at the time, it did not affect his consideration of the evidence. So he was leaning towards not guilty, and then he feels sorry for her and he votes guilty? That doesn't make any sense. No.
I'm like, I can't keep up with the train of thought there. I'm just like, what?
If he felt sorry for her and he was leaning not guilty, he would have voted not guilty, right? Like if he was influenced by any outside information that she was serving 3 life sentences,
and he felt sorry for her,
and he felt sorry for her, he would have voted not guilty. But what was his final vote? It was guilty. So he wasn't influenced by outside information to vote not guilty because he didn't vote not guilty. Got it? Oh my gosh. It is hard to keep track of.
I know.
I think I got it now. I got a better handle on it now after that footnote number 1.
Yeah.
Here on the limited record of the pleadings before the court, there being no affidavits or sworn testimony evidencing any misconduct, as contemplated by Rule 24, the court does not find a clear indication of juror misconduct, let alone any evidence of prejudice to the defendant.
Okay.
Yeah, there was no prejudice to the defendant. Anyway, juror misconduct.
I'm so prejudiced against her. So bad. But
juror misconduct requires a new trial only if the defendant shows actual prejudice or if it can be fairly be presumed from the facts.
They are good with the words, man. They really are. The judge is, yeah.
Yeah, and that takes me back, and I almost want to go back and watch that video of Carl, Juror 15, because he does say up until the last day before closing arguments, I wasn't convinced one way or the other. I thought she might have been not guilty. But then I was driving home that day, the day before deliberations, and I felt sorry for her. So that's not prejudice against the defendant. That's prejudice for her, and he still voted guilty. So, yeah. All right, you got this, Judge B. Judge B got this. He figured it out before I did.
Yeah, he's like, and he goes, yeah. He's good. I like him.
Yeah, all right. This is Tylee, Ryan, and Alex Cox statements is part B. Court ruling stated the out-of-court statements appear to be hearsay, and the defendant failed to establish that any specific statement was either non-hearsay or fell within an exception rule. Court went on to give the defendant the opportunity to offer specific statements at trial, that she could re-urge the issue outside of the presence of the jury, but she did not take the court up on its offer during trial.
Sounds like wah, wah, wah.
Exactly. Like when she was talking about her rack belt hanging out of her shirt. She's like, well, the jury wasn't polled, and the judge is like, well, that's your job to request. Yes.
Like, and that's you. You know, like you did not poll the jury. So there.
All right. Yeah, Detective Kuhn's testimony. Defendant argues he didn't have foundation. This is stupid stuff. I'm scrolling through this. She did not have time. All right. This cracks me up. She did not have time to rebut Detective Kuhn's testimony. The record is clear. The defendant was offered more time to prepare for trial and declined.
Obviously.
Yes. You don't have to have a speedy trial. You can prepare for trial better. You can get your expert lineage working in there. You can have the state interview your witnesses. You can call your witnesses. Nope. I want a speedy trial.
You can do a lot more if you waive your right. But she was bitching, like in her first interview with Brittany, Arizona True Crime Family, whatever, that the reasons why she was doing this for all the women, you know, she's just doing this, I guess, to show them better than she can tell them. Anyways.
Yeah, if I were there in jail in Maricopa County Jail Estrella unit, I would not follow her advice.
Definitely
and her
not.
example. Yeah, just word of advice out there for you ladies that might be tuning in tonight, because I know there's probably like 4 or 5 of you that are watching right now.
Oh, Lord.
Don't follow her example. All right. The basis of Detective Kuhn's testimony was the walkthrough of Alex Cox. That's not supported by the record. Yeah.
All technicalities anyways. She's just sitting here trying to get off on a technicality because it's what losers like her depend on. In my opinion. That's just me. That's how I think. You know, I'm just like, that's what it looks like.
Well, I think Judge Boreski agrees. The court finds the statements of Tylee and Alex were properly excluded, and the defendant has failed to raise a single specific statement that should have been permissibly allowed under the rules of evidence, nor has the defendant established Detective Kuhn's testimony was improper. Discovery violation. The contents of the hard drive are exculpatory, is what Lori claims. She never articulates any single item whatsoever that would constitute exculpatory evidence. again, merely stating something as exculpatory does not make it so.
This
Just like
aligns with their doctrine that I believe it was Ian who brought that forth, right? About, I call it the zombie doctrine. But there's this belief. One of the little bullet points was, if you can imagine it, then it's real. And I mean, hello, that's what these are. That's what she's doing. It's just what, like, nobody was murdered here. I mean, at all. It's just, I still can't think of the damn word. Anyways, it's just how she's trying to rebrand and, you know, blaming it on Tylee and all the things that she has done beyond just murdering them. You know, like, it's just, if you believe it, then it's real. Okay. Not here, girl.
well, and that kind of goes along with the LDS doctrine. I mean, and down that slippery slope when you start believing things that are outside of your belief system.
Yeah.
And it's okay to do that in general. You can believe things that are outside of your belief system, but when you have to totally suspend disbelief to engage
in reality.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it is a slippery slope too, because it's like these bunch of little half truths, and then they're twisted, and when you go along the way there, and so much time is in between, I don't know. It just seems to be a really slippery slope. I agree with that completely.
The defendant requested access to the actual phone to run a new examination. Okay. What was she really looking for in Charles' phone? What do you think she was looking for in Charles' phone?
I don't know. Because whatever it is, I know that Summer, her sister, even said, well, Lori showed me proof that Charles was cheating on her. And I don't know if that is the one, like, she's forgetting everything else and it's just to prove her point. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's in his phone that can exonerate her. Okay. Because holy cow, it'd have to be like a button that totally brings us back all the way to the first time they started conspiring, and they change it from that point on and don't conspire. I don't know. I don't know what it would be. And it would bring, let's say, everybody back to life. I mean, but there's not such a button or thing that exists. Okay. So I don't know what she's doing. I have no idea. It's interesting though. It really is. I'm almost like, give her the damn phone. Let her have at it. And just so we can, what, you know, like, again, she also could have waived her right to a speedy trial. And like you said, do what she needs to do with it to exonerate her. Because whatever's in that phone, she thinks will exonerate her.
What else does she have going on in her life?
Nothing.
That she needs to have a speedy trial in Maricopa County Superior Court. What else is going on in her life that she has to have a speedy trial?
It's like, just it's like she was trained or in this way. I would probably go out on a ledge here and say Barry probably preached to his kids, like, if you ever are on trial, you always, you never waive your right to a speedy trial. You know, just get through it as fast as you can. And because she has stuck to that from beginning to end.
To her own detriment. Like, literally to her own detriment.
Yeah.
Like, she couldn't get in Lonnie Dworkin. She couldn't get in any of her witnesses. She couldn't get in any evidence because she was so is the prison in Idaho that much better than the county jail in Maricopa?
I mean, I don't even think that's it. I mean, I think it is. I think that's a lot of what it is, because it seems that way. It seems like a lot of the red carpet was rolled out for her in Idaho. Compared to Arizona, she's just another number in Arizona. They are not even playing her game. Whereas in Idaho, it's like you had this one reporter who would just report on this, and that's the basis of even that channel's existence, or that, not existence, but it's been a good source. The Daybell case has been a good primary source of ads and paying bills, I mean, and that's just to do with that. But I mean, they would have court hearings and it just seemed very red carpet-ish. And I'm not trying to be ugly or whatever. I don't know. It's just the way it seemed. Whereas when she got to Arizona, she's just another damn number. Like, they're ready. They got other things to do, girl, besides wait on your ass. But that's just what it feels like to me. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just,
well, she said she's been in isolation 23 hours a day, which would make sense to me. I probably would do that too if I were Maricopa County Jail. So that must be different than how she was being treated in Idaho, maybe.
I don't know. I know there's probably not as many women, not as many people there. I don't know if maybe she gets to do an extra crafting class or basket making. I don't know. I don't know what it is over there. I know that once she gets back over there, that she's not allowed to do like interviews unless I have to go look still. I just realized that when I said that, like I have to go and look at the rules. Like, I don't know if they can do phone interviews in Idaho or not. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be just one of those things that we just need to hunker down and expect all the time, or Lori speaking from beyond the cell, which would really be shitty, but whatever, it would be nice if she wouldn't be able to have interviews. It would be nice for her to just really go away.
Right. To quote Mike Tyson, if she would just fade off into Bolivia.
There you go. That's probably the smartest thing I ever heard him say.
The defendant's request for additional discovery related to Charles Vallow's phone was accommodated. The state had previously disclosed all evidence it had in its possession at the time. Defendant requested access to the actual phone to run a new examination. Defense has offered no evidence that any additional information was obtained from the phone, let alone exculpatory evidence. The court finds no discovery violation. Prosecutorial misconduct. She's coming at Miss Trina K.
I could see them scrapping too. I could. I could.
Well, they kind of do. And Trina,
like,
Trina sits there at her desk and she just like
she needs dough. She's needing dough.
She's like
she's like doing all kinds of weird things. I mean, but yeah, it is a stress reliever. I think so too. But it reminds me of like how it's not as creepy as when Chad does it, but Chad does similar things with his little baby, tiny little hand.
Nothing is as creepy as when Chad does it. Nothing.
He's disgusting, y'all. He's disgusting.
What? All right. I
don't know. Don't go there. How do you feel like you're going to go there with Chad?
Nope. Nope.
There's no coming back from that.
His hand on her ass in that storage unit is like, I can't get it out of my head. I can't because
it's disgusting. It's just like his James and Elena Juvenile story.
Yes. It's
as juvenile as, and I mean, I'm an adult. I've had grown relationships, where you tap the booty. Okay, woohoo. Well, that's okay, but not when he does it to hers. And Tammy is still alive. Her kids are buried in his backyard. They're gross. They're disgusting human beings, y'all. Ugh. And we know that. We know. But I think we're maybe trying to convince ourselves again. I don't know. I'm about to smoke, so I'm going to go off cam. So.
Okay. I'll keep reading then. The court finds nothing in the defendant's allegations comes close to establishing prosecutorial misconduct. The state is allowed to argue reasonable inferences from the evidence presented. Whoa. That's an interesting statement.
Say that again?
The state is allowed to argue reasonable inferences from the evidence presented. What? Somebody tell me what that means. Like, oh, okay. No. Past arguments. I thought they were talking about like maybe in the future she made an argument and the state can use that against her. But no, this is in the past. The defense does not have to agree with those inferences and is permitted to argue the evidence should be interpreted differently. The defendant argues in her. Yes,
that's
exactly.
the word. Sorry, I'm sorry. ERP Thompson Queen. Thank you. Semantics is the word I was looking for. Thank you. Yes. Sacrifice or murder. It's the semantics. Amen. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I even was Googling it and trying to find some synonyms.
Thanks for nothing, Google. Thanks for nothing, Google.
Yeah, they
hold on. My camera lost me. My camera lost me for a second. Hold on. I gotta go off camera. Boop, boop, boop. Stop cam. Come back here.
Find you. Semantics, yes. Them damn semantics. I need to say it 5 times. Semantics. Maybe it'll stick. I'm trying to retrain my brain.
I think he found me again.
Yay. All right.
Woohoo. There I am. The defendant argues in her reply for the first time that both the state and court violated the defendant's rights under the Religious Freedom Restoration Act.
I love this answer. Love this answer.
Although new arguments are not considered when first raised in a reply, the court will nonetheless address this. You lost your chance before, girl, but we're going to give you a little lecture anyway. The RFRA, Religious Freedom Restoration Act, protects religious freedom and...
I didn't even know this existed, so I was like, all right. Sorry.
You're fine. I didn't either.
Yeah, it was cool.
Protects religious freedom and prohibits the government from substantially burdening a person's exercise. I said exorcism.
That's what we meant. That's what he meant.
Freudian slip there. Exercise, a person's exercise of religion. No, that's why I messed it up, because that's not properly worded, like grammar wise. It substantially burdens a person's exercise of religion. Is it just me, or is that awkwardly worded?
I don't know.
There is no conduct, but either the state or court that somehow infringed on the defendant's freedom to practice her religion.
You can practice it, just nobody else has to, agree with you, right? Is that basically what it's saying?
Well, no, it doesn't protect you in practicing your religion if it involves unaliving other people. That's the way that I see it. Okay, we didn't infringe on your freedom to practice your religion. We just infringed on your freedom to unalive people. Okay. So if they're connected in your religion, then that's on you. That's not on the state, because the state has a higher burden to protect people from being unalived, especially your children and spouse and future husband's spouse. Nor is there anything about the trial that impacts the defendant's freedom to believe whatever she chooses to believe. That's right.
Yeah.
Moreover,
you do you, girl. You do you, boo.
Yep. Moreover, the RFRA does not protect someone from here's what I was just saying. The RFRA does not protect someone from committing criminal acts in the name of religion. That's like, that's like the most impactful. Yes.
Yeah, there's been many people killed in the name of religion. If you think about it.
Killed and abused and tortured and
mistreated. Yeah.
Spanish
financially exploited. Yeah. I need to read about that. That's one thing I have never gone back to read it. Thank you.
And when I was growing up in in the church, going to seminary. They talked a lot about the evils of the Catholic Church, and the Spanish Inquisition was one of those horrible, horrible evils that was perpetrated in the name of religion.
Yeah.
In the name of whoever you want to put it in the name of.
Right.
Here, different witnesses may have had different interpretations regarding who Nephi was or the significance of his story. The defendant had an opportunity to cross-examine those witnesses regarding the same. None of this infringes on the defendant's religious freedom. For this reason, the court finds no prosecutorial misconduct. All right, we're to the last one. She wears out my voice. She wears out a lot of things. I got to take a break just for a second.
Yeah, she wears out my brain. That's for sure. You don't care either. She knows she is a vampire of energy. Like, she's an energy drainer.
Right. And that's how a lot of narcissists work, is they just wear you out. They wear you down. They're like, I'm just going to keep telling you that what I want is what I want, and I'm going to get what I want. And I don't care what you say and how often you say it and how right you are. I want what I want.
Mm-hmm. So
all right.
What you want get you in jail.
Yeah. I think we're going to get that.
I need her to feel the rock bottom. That's what I need.
I think that's probably one of the most impactful visual images for me, being in court there with her within 15, 20, 10, 5 feet of her, is how unaffected she seems by all of this.
Yeah.
Like, she acts like she's just the bee's knees and she's the queen of the room and everybody's going to give her what she wants. And when she didn't get it last hearing is when it went sideways.
Especially when she was like, she told the judge about how putting Vallow Daybell on the questionnaire, and he was like, it's the name of the case. And I was just like, yeah, Lori, it's the name of the damn case. You're not special, boo. I mean, she's not. But she thinks she is. You're right. You are so right.
And it's not just, it's not just what she says, it's how she acts. Like, in court, she's literally on trial, and she was in the last one for multiple life sentences. This one for 25 to life, the next, or the one coming up for probably 25 to life. And she's just she appears and acts so unaffected by the seriousness of the case. Yeah. Like, if you watch other cases, like, say, just Karen Reed is also on trial for murder charges. And when she sits at that desk, yes, every once in a while, she'll have a little bit of a smile, a little bit of a smirk when she's talking with her co-defense. But for the most part, she sits there, fairly stone-faced, just as an example. I know it's not the same situation. I know it's not the same case, but
I don't watch.
Yeah, right. Lori just acts so unaffected, like, as to the seriousness of this case. Right. She unalived your uncle, and she did not act affected by that at all in the trial.
Her husband. Right.
Yes.
My husband. Yeah. And that's one of those things. It's one of those things that I can't put that aside, because I'm just like, he was a whole person with a real life, just like JJ, just like Tylee, just like Tammy, just like Brandon. I mean, you don't get to do that to other people. Like, that is a human right. That's a basic human right. And she don't get it. She don't get it. It's just, what can you do for me? What can you do for me? Basically.
And when she finds out Judge Boreski can't do anything for her, then that's when she goes off. And they don't get along.
CC True Crime says Karen Reed is a much better person in general, and she's innocent. I don't know. I don't have the brain capacity for it. You know, I'm just like, yeah, I can't.
Yeah, I can't either.
John Williams says, quote, none of this will have zero effect on me in eternity. Zero effect. That thing. And I hope Judge Boreski sees that. If anybody could forward that to him, that would be lovely because none of this, not like whenever he sentences her, it will have zero effect on her. That's profound to me. That I'm glad you brought that up, John. Because it will. It's supposed to. It's supposed to. She does not see it that way.
Right. And okay, so I just made this connection. So that tells me that she's already made the connection from this life to the next. She's already resigned herself to the fact.
Yeah.
Even though she said, "Oh, Chad and I are going to be exonerated," whatever. But based on that statement, that tells me that she's already given up on this life and she's already looking forward to the next.
She basically said that too. She was like, "My life is basically over," and she's what 50 or whatever. I don't even know.
52, I think, maybe
something. She was born in 76. Yeah. I'm 47.
No, she was born in 73, wasn't she? Yeah, okay, she was born in 73.
I don't know.
June 3rd, 73.
June 26th.
73.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
73, 52. Okay. Thank you.
Soon to be 53.
Yeah.
Right.
She was 46. No. She was my age. Well, I just turned 47. She was 46 when she started all this murder spree.
Wow. Oh my God.
But I mean, for her to say that my life is over, I mean, that's pretty big, you know, like, yeah, girl.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be. And it's, I mean, you're a good Mormon, you know, and you're not drinking, you're not smoking. Yeah, it's going to be even longer. So it's like
you're going to playing basketball at the Stake Center every Tuesday night.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a thing, by the way.
All these mind games. I know Brandon and Adam and Zach, they were supposed to meet and play basketball and visit with this, to get a meeting with the stake president, who is Adam's friend.
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right. We're almost done with this. We're on part E. Defendant alleges the court was not impartial because the court struck two of the defendant's witnesses from the defense witness. You don't give me what I want. I get what I want. I know what I want. Contrary. Yes. Yep. Contrary to the defendant's assertion that no rule of law or evidence requires her to establish that a witness has relevant information. Judge Boreski, you need me as like your law clerk so I can put a that in there. Requires her to establish that a witness has relevant information. Arizona Rules of Evidence 601 and 602 require just that. Okay, you got the that in there. Prior to trial, the defendant was given an opportunity to make a general offer of proof as to what relevant information the witness's relevancy. Oh my God, we're going down the relevancy path. What relevant information the witnesses would provide, which the defendant was unable to provide. When the court precluded the witnesses, the defendant was also advised by the court that during the course of the trial, if she believed these witnesses had relevant information, the court would revisit the issue. Thereafter, the defendant did not again offer any witnesses, even though she was specifically told she could re-urge the issue. In addition, in her motion for a new trial, the defendant offers no further information on what testimony the witnesses would have given if they were permitted to be called as witnesses. Remember, this is in trial 1. This is about Charles Vallow's murder. This is not trial 2 yet, but I imagine we'll see similar things in trial 2.
She's so damn nonchalant.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Something the other day, but I gotta find it now. I just remembered when I said that. Yeah, gotta find
The
it.
defendant also argues the court demonstrated non-bias based on the court's comment made while overruling the state's objection during the defendant's questioning of Serena Sharp. The state was objecting to the relevance of the question, and the court thought the question had some minimal relevance based on the context of the defendant's line of questioning. The court notes the defendant's argument as to why the question was relevant was not in line with why the court surmised it was relevant. So, big shocker, Judge Boreski and Lori Vallow Daybell were not on the same page. Do you see that? The court notes the defendant's argument as to why the question was relevant was not in line. In other words, our brains are on different pages with why the court surmised it was relevant. While the court's comment was not necessary, it does not evidence bias, nor does it mean the court was demonstrating any partiality. Nonetheless, the court acknowledges the court's comment was unnecessary, and the court should have simply overruled the state's objection without comment. So
It's like saying I'm sorry without saying I'm sorry.
Exactly. Sorry, not sorry. I granted I denied the state's objection, but now I'm saying that I shouldn't have commented on why I denied the state's objection.
I got it. I mean, I get it. You know? Eliza says they're not even in the same book.
The court should have simply overruled the state's objection without comment. Moreover, the court has been presented no evidence whatsoever that this comment influenced the jurors. Lori, would you like to poll the jurors now? Would you like to poll them about your rack belt? Would you like to poll them about this comment from Judge Boreski?
Yeah, that's for her other part to do. I mean, she's only so many parts. She does act like SRA with her different parts, and she micro compartmentalizes them all.
Yeah. I don't disagree at all. That's having carefully considered the defendant's arguments, all of the briefing, and the record. I like to have that extra comma in there, Judge. Like, seriously, hire me to be your legal court clerk. I'll put those commas in there for you. And the record, the court finds the defendant received a fair and impartial jury trial, and the defendant has failed to establish any ground for a new trial under Arizona Criminal Code 24.1.c. It is ordered denying the defendant's motion for a new trial, filed May 1st, 2025.
Allegedly.
All right. Yes. We cordially deny your motion.
Yeah, Hooker. You heard what the judge said. I hope it echoes in her chamber. Or whatever. I really wanted to find it. Damn it. I always do this to myself, you know. Oh well. Not today. Not today, Aunt Satan. Not today. Right. So, okay. I wanted to play this video. Well, yeah. Okay. So we'll play this.
So are we gonna get into the Brandon Boudreaux case? Is that where we're going next?
Getting into it. Because that's where we're going. So okay. It'll be here. All right. This was whenever she pled not guilty to the charges. I just figured she walks in and she nudges him with her elbow. Like they're friends. MCSO unsentenced.
Calling number 6 on this morning's calendar. Number 6 is CR 2021. It is 001704. And number 7 is CR 2022 142. State of Arizona versus Lori Vallow. It's the time set for the not guilty arraignment as to each case. For the state?
Your Honor, Trini Kay on behalf of the state in both matters. For the record, the victim is appearing virtually in the 2022 matter.
I'll let her know.
Also, the next of kin, we're going to appear in the 2021. We have attempted to reach them. We are unable to reach them at this point, but they were aware of this and did respond to the particular David wish to appear.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. Counsel?
Good morning, Keith Terry and Danae Suki on behalf of Ms. Vallow, who's present appearing in custody.
Thank you. And ma'am, can you state your full name, please?
Lori Vallow Daybell,
And your date of birth?
Oh,
6/26/73.
All right, then this is the time set for the not guilty arraignment on each count. We'll start with number 6.
she did trip. She did.
As to number 6, ma'am, you are before the court on count 1. We'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. You waive a reading?
Yes, Your Honor.
And we'll
Okay,
set the
when they waive
matter for your next court hearings are this as follows in this case. The next court hearing will be an initial pretrial conference. That will be on January 18th. It's at 8:15 in the morning before Commissioner Garfinkel. The comprehensive pretrial conference will be on February 21. It's at 8:30 in the morning, and that's before Judge Boreski. The final trial management conference will be on March 28th. That's also at 8:30 in the morning before Judge Boreski. And then the trial assignment date on this case will be on April 4th. That's at 9 o'clock in the morning, and that's before the master calendar judge.
Master
You
calendar.
need to be present for the court hearings. If you fail to appear without good cause, a warrant could be issued for your arrest. I'll go ahead and affirm the current release conditions. We go to number 7. On number 7, ma'am, you are also before the court for a not guilty arraignment on count 1. We'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. We'll set the matters for the next court dates, which are likely to be the same ones I just gave you. The initial pretrial conference will be on January 18th. It's at 8:15 in the morning before Commissioner Garfinkel. Comprehensive pretrial conference, that will be on February 21. It's at 8:30 in the morning before Judge Boreski. The final trial management conference is March 28. It's at 8:30 in the morning. That's also before Judge Boreski. And then your trial assignment date is April 4th. That's at 9 o'clock in the morning, and that's before the master calendar judge. I'll go ahead and affirm the current release conditions as to this cause as well. From the state, was there any additional issues that you wanted the court to review or discuss?
Yes, Your Honor, 2 things. First, these are both first-degree murder cases. The court set the trial dates as if they were not complex. First-degree murder cases are automatically complex cases. We would ask that we amend the dates to align with complex case 270 days out for the trial date.
Yes. If I do that, will we be able to get dates today?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and does the defense wish to be heard? Do you wish to be heard on that issue?
Your Honor,
Object or do you agree?
we object at this time.
All right, then, I think I'll just leave the dates the way they are now, and I'll ask the state to go ahead and file a motion before the assigned, either before the next court date or the Judge Boreski, and let him decide how he wants to proceed with respect to the dates.
Sure.
What was the other issue?
The other issue, Your Honor, was the state did file a motion and emailed it to court and counsel on Monday with regards to a protective order for the exhibits so that the state can comply with all of the protective orders that are in place in Idaho. I know defense counsel has not had a time to respond to that, so I didn't know if the court wanted to set a time before Judge Boreski so that we could deal with that issue. Obviously, we don't want to wait till the IPTC to handle that.
Sir,
We do not object to a protective order.
you do not object? I did receive the proposed order. Defense counsel has indicated there's no objection, so the court will grant that request, and I'll sign the order immediately following the hearing.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state has no other issues.
All right, thank you. Anything from the defense?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, and thank you. We'll be in recess as to this matter. Thank you for appearing. Thanks so much.
Notice how crisp and clean her jail uniform is.
Mhm. Very orange.
what?
She has to go back and sign because she forgot to sign.
I noticed that day on her on the 14th, same thing. She had a crisp, clean, it looked brand new. It was at least brand spanking new out of the laundry or whatever they do. But the hour to an hour and a half, there were several prisoners that showed up in dirty, nasty jail uniforms from the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. So they're either she has some way of influencing people to like get her nice uniforms, or they're just very aware that it's a very highly public case and they don't want to have her
They don't
showing
want
up.
that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but just know that I hope both of her shoes are different sizes. I hope one is way bigger than the other. That's one thing that makes me just feel good. Okay. Okay. Because that really does suck, you know.
Yeah, she's got one. The left one is a size 7, the right one's a size 6. How's that?
A 9. I want it to be a damn 9. I want it to be a boat. That's why she tripped when she walked in it. She was tripping on that and her ego because both couldn't fit through the door. Anyways, now y'all know what I really feel like all the time. Anyways, I mean, that's
I'm glad you let us in. I'm glad we never know how you feel. Like
insider.
You finally, yeah.
There you go. If anybody was curious, okay. But oh my gosh, right? That sounds horrible, but you know, I didn't off my family. She did. She offed my family, pretty much. Let's see what this. Hold on, I have this. And it's got ads, of course. Oh my gosh. Pause. Okay, so while that is finished there, okay, let me get back to this one. I opened the wrong window. This is a game that me and my computer play whenever I share things. I hit the window and it'll automatically start playing, and I'm like, oh my God. So this is an interview. It's exclusive. It seems like the information I shared with them turned into this nationwide frenzy. That's Ian Pulowski who said that. But I mean, this is just one of those interviews that they felt compelled. Melanie Pulowski felt compelled to do. And nobody asked her to. Okay. They're asking her, where are the kids? Where are the kids? And she moves next door to her Aunt Lori in the same complex as her Uncle Alex. And
in Rexburg,
in Rexburg, Idaho. Mm-hmm. After
she leaves behind Brandon and the kids.
After telling
Gilbert.
the Detective Coons, who actually interviewed her on October 3rd, the day after Brandon was shot. She goes in for that interview with their daughter. And I mean, she could maybe not have had a babysitter. I mean, I can think of some ways of why you would bring your child to that. But then when you think about it in the grand scope of things, like how Lori was, how Detective Yanklin tried to separate Lori from Tylee so that she could deliver the news that Charles was dead. But Lori refused to, because it's this enmeshed system, you know, where they don't try to protect their children. They're to be protected. You know what I'm saying? So it's just interesting to me how Mini-Me here, Lori's niece, I'm the good one. Yeah, I'm the good niece. But how Lori's niece is just like her. She actually, and I mean, I don't know where I got this from. I really don't. But I'd heard along the way, early on in the case, that Melanie was more manipulative than Lori. And I mean, I couldn't even fathom that. And now I can. I'm like, holy shit. You know, that's huge. That's huge, because Lori's manipulative as all get out. But I don't know what Ian's thing is in this. I have tried to figure him out, you know. a lot of people are like, oh, they feel sorry for him. But then again, I stop and I think, I'm like, well, he's a grown ass man. He made his bed. He needs to sleep in it. This is who he chose. He chose to stay with little Blondie here. And so I don't feel sorry for him anymore. That's gone out the door a long time ago. So I'm just like, what happened here? How is Melanie Boudreaux Pulowski not a witness? How is she not called for even Lori? How is she getting away with this? And why? And who do I write a strongly worded letter to like express and vent, first off, but to also question how this one here is getting away with all this? Because that's what it looks like to me. Here we are 6 years down the road, and she has manipulated.
And her aunt is on trial for conspiracy to murder her estranged husband at the time.
Has to do with Melanie. I mean, what?
And she was at these sisters gatherings, right? Like at the meetings.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, actually, they were both there. So was Melanie Gibb for Brandon's, for the exorcism or whatever the hell they did, their bippity boppity boo magic stuff, magic show. I just don't understand, and I want to understand. I'm here to understand, right? Difficult research. That's the name of the channel. I want to know why. And what makes her so damn exalted, so to speak? How is she maneuvering all this?
It's those curls. It's those blonde curls. She has beautiful hair.
I don't know what it is. I don't know. But I mean, I don't wish anything bad on someone who's not guilty of doing, or I'd say co-conspiring with our aunt, basically. But it appears through all the research, through how these cases have unfolded over the last 6 years, I'm questioning and asking, why did the police decide that she was okay, or why did the judge actually decide that Melanie is not a danger to her children? And I want to know who that judge is, and I want to just ask him, are you serious? And I mean, at whose expense? At the children's expense? No matter what, right? Either way, two of them were dubbed dark. We saw the video before about how Melanie trespassed on Brandon's parents' property and was arrested even. Why did she want to get her hands on her children so bad? It bothers me bad. I don't know. I know it bothers a lot of you too. And I mean, I'm right there with you. Okay. I'm holding the first damn pitchfork. Okay. But it's not a witch hunt. No. But then again, it's like, stop being witches. That's
okay. Remind me then of some text messages that I think are like in the back of my head where her children, and definitely Brandon, we know Brandon was determined to be dark, but were her children or one or more of her children determined to be dark too? Of Melanie and Brandon's kids.
Mm-hmm.
And they have four, and two of them were dark.
I don't have it pulled right. I don't have that right at my fingertips. But if you take over for a little bit, I can. It's just
we don't
okay.
Need to.
So I just find it interesting. Like whenever Chad had sent a text to Lori. I'm sorry, he sent a text to Melanie, but obviously it sounded like from reading it and the way it came out. Let me pull that up. Okay, I just remembered where it would be. It was something along the lines of it sounded to me like Chad had just told Melanie that she would have to sacrifice these two children. Or however many, I don't know. I wasn't there. But that's what it sounded like to me. It sounded like he had just broke the news to her of why, and that she would have to sacrifice, okay, to be part of this church of the firstborn, allegedly. And so Lori texts back to Chad. She's like, "Oh, that was a nice message you sent to Melanie B." But, and she's getting over it or something along those lines. And Lori goes on to say, "But I'm taking it harder than she is, basically." You know, and I'm just like, what are y'all even talking about? You're talking about, in my opinion, sacrifice. I'm reading between the lines of what happened to Tylee and JJ, and then no one was murdered here. Okay, that kind of thing. And just knowing that I believe this is the
and
payment.
then knowing that Melanie's actively hunted down her
Yes.
children by going to Brandon's neighbor's house and by going to Brandon's parents' house, actively with Alex.
Agency.
Right.
Gilbert.
I didn't mean to push that button, whatever I did. Oh. It started reading. I was like, what? It's very alarming. Let me go to, I'm looking that up.
And I get it if you're going through a rough divorce and you don't know where your kids are, although you've moved to Idaho and left your husband and kids behind, and then you decide to come back and try and track down where they're at. But still, I get it if you're in a, you're trying to track down where they're at, maybe, but when you fit that into the context of some of these text messages and two of them being dark, it definitely leads to a sinister conspiracy thought. Like this isn't just a normal divorce proceeding.
No, this is her provoking a divorce. This is her, meaning Melanie. This is her starting shit and then not having any evidence to back it up. She's being real general, real vague, just like Lori was. Well, you know all those text messages, but she never proves that actually. And I mean, and just knowing what happened to Tylee and JJ and knowing what bippity boppity weird shit they're into and how that leads to death and of children. They don't like children. Okay. First off, and that's just strange and alarming all in of itself. It really is. And I mean, that's why I suspect this to be more of a, not so much a cult, but more of a secret society. And there's a lot of people being protected. Why? I don't know. I don't have that answer. But anyways, so here, I don't know if these will lead up to it though. But so this is from the 304-page Gilbert PD report for Brandon. This is Brandon Boudreaux's case. This is from Gilbert. And so it says, in December of 2019, I assisted in this case by reviewing the cell phones of Alex Cox and Zalema P. I first reviewed Alex's cell phone report and observed the following messages. Alex activated the phone on 12/3/19. That's interesting. With a registered phone number of redacted. On 12/4/2019, Zalema tells Alex that Raphael got a new phone number, redacted. I later learned through the context of text messages and information gathered from a P.O. Box application that the phone number for Raphael is registered to Chad Daybell, right? 12/5/2019 at 16:08 hours, Alex to a name labeled as Guy, which is Chad's middle name. So later determined to be Chad Daybell by Detective Pillar based on a history of Chad's phone numbers. Hey, it's Ray Romano. And so okay, this brings me to when Detective Ray Hermosillo at the time, detective, this was in Chad's trial. In Chad's trial, they introduced these communications audio that Ian had provided them, right? And they say, oh, no. This is actually, it was introduced. It was audio recording from jail. It was while Lori was in jail And this is the day before Tylee and JJ were found on his property. So they say that Lori and Chad are talking in code, which obviously, but it's nice to hear freaking law enforcement say it. Okay, so I don't sound crazy. But they're definitely talking in code. And they say that they're talking to like the way Chad frames it is like they're talking to Alex, but he's dead, So, and they say it's Ray, but whenever Nate Eaton was doing a walkthrough of Chad Daybell's home the day before it was demolished, okay, whenever he was going through this part where the red barn type thing is, that structure, there were some things left on the wall, and one of them being Ray's playpen. And I was like, what the fuck? I mean, like, sorry, but like Ray's playpen. And I was just like, well, I mean, I grabbed a bunch of snapshots of it if I could, that while I could. And just some weird stuff, So I'm like, is it Ray? Is it really Alex they're talking to? Because I mean, obviously they're not, because he's dead, right? I don't know. It's just some things to think about. But I don't have answers for you. I just have things that bring up more questions, really. But I mean, like, hey, it's Ray Romano. And there was no response from Chad. 12/6/2019, Alex began communicating with Chad and asked about Lily. Lily is another name used for Lori Vallow, as discovered by Detective Pillar through his investigation. Based on the context of text messages on Alex's phone, Lori started replying on Chad's phone. Interesting. 12/9/2019 at 15:34 hours, Alex asked Zalima, this is some of that weird shit, if she ordered the storms that were occurring. She said that she ordered the storms when they were having a barbecue. Because, I mean, that's how normal people talk. Never. Anyways, 12/10/2019, Alex asked Chad to give him a blessing because he was having a bad attack and couldn't breathe. 12/11/2019, Chad asked Alex how he is doing, and Alex responds that he is winded every time he stands up and has a resting pulse rate of 100. That's what happened when you've been taking Mexican drugs. I'm just saying. I really think it was part of the plan. I think it's like Chad gave Alex his last rites, basically, in the patriarchal blessing that he gave to Chad that we have on video that's super cringe. Or audio. It's disgusting. It is so cringy. Chad Daybell is so freaking morbid. Like, I don't know. He sure is connected to a lot of people from the underworld, if you know what I'm saying, too. And that's, I'm always looking at it from the satanic ritual abuse aspect and this kind of occult aspect. And there are these network of people who tend to either be involved with funeral homes or some kind of afterlife business. It's very interesting. And so a lot of some of the reports in the Hamblin documents, some of the reports in the Hamblin case, they talk about how they go and do these things in cemeteries and like these different rituals and stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's Chad. That's Chad. It's just, I don't know. Anyways.
Where was he an Undertaker at?
Chad?
Yes.
He was at Springville.
In Idaho.
No. This was in Utah.
In Utah,
Springville.
Okay.
Springville, Utah. Okay, hold on. You're going to have to take it for a second so I can tell Jason. Yeah, Jason's calling. Can you take it?
I'll take it.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I'm going to pull up here. Zoom in. Come on, let me zoom in. Alex asked Zulema if she ordered the storms that were occurring. She said she ordered the storms that they were having a barbecue. Yeah, that's totally normal. Alex
Mhm.
asked Chad to give him a blessing. We have audio of that blessing because he was
Mhm.
having a bad attack and couldn't breathe. Was that the Melchizedek priesthood blessing, or was that a different blessing?
That was the only blessing that we have on audio.
So when I was at the trial,
Mhm.
somebody told me that there was a second blessing from Chad to Alex at one point in time that was like a Malachite blessing. And
Hmm.
it kind of raised my awareness, and I'm like, okay, I need to find out more information about that. I didn't get any secondary information on that.
Yeah.
But malachite is something that can cause a pulmonary embolism, according to this
Mhm.
person, which is
does.
what Alex died of, pulmonary embolism.
Right.
So
Right.
that's
I just want to know what the damn blowtorches were used for whenever they went through Zalema's house after Alex died. You know, I mean, it's just, I have so many questions, just like you guys. I do. I have so many questions. Thank you. I was like, hey, I'm live. So, yeah, that's not normal talking. Order the storms when when we were having a barbecue. Okay, elaborate, because that doesn't sound right.
okay. If somebody I know orders storms when I'm having a barbecue, I'm like, you bitch.
Yeah, I'm having a damn barbecue.
What are you ordering storms for?
Right?
No.
Stop it. Knock it off.
We need good weather. I got ribs on the smoker right now.
That's funny. That's true. That's true. But it's a lot of code talk right here, I think. Okay, because it says 12/11/2019 at 11:53, Alex to Chad. I feel like the poison from the spear in the heart has done some residual damage. Okay. Right? But I mean, he went to Mexico on 12/7, I want to say. I mean, I'm just wondering, besides Cialis, what did Alex Cox get? And then why? Anyway,
When did he go to Colombia, or who went to Colombia?
he went to Colombia immediately after he killed my uncle.
Okay.
Okay. Because on his way back, he landed in Houston, picked up my uncle's truck and the stuff that they had, put into it and drove it back, I guess. So he went to Colombia for that. I mean, let's not forget that Alex Cox was really into sex tourism, which is exactly what Tim Ballard is into, if you know what I'm saying. It's just interesting to me.
So
Like,
did he go on a mission? Did Alex ever go on a mission?
I think that's a good suspicion. I think that's a good.
A Spanish speaking mission, maybe.
Oh, you mean? Oh, yeah. Did he serve a mission? Did he serve a mission for the church?
Yes.
We know he was
Yes.
excommunicated twice. So did he? Inquiring minds want to know. I mean, that would be par for the course with him, for sure.
If I were an investigative detective in either one of these cases, I would have been asking that question.
Right.
I would have been subpoenaing LDS records to find out.
Oh, and they would have called Curtin McConkie and did just what they did whenever Mark Means subpoenaed them. I mean, they're like, oh, religious persecution, basically. Anyways,
Right.
We'll have to talk about that one day, because that is just one of those things I'd like to go over with what I know now versus what I knew at the time. I was just like, what? I didn't know what any of this stuff meant. I was learning. And I mean, I'm not a professional now, but I know more now today than I did then, just collectively, But right here, it says 12/11/2019 at 12:15 hours, Alex received a call from Melanie Boudreaux. After talking to Melanie, Alex called and spoke to Chad at 12:38. So is she the go-between here? 12/11/2019. So not too many minutes later, 12:47 hours, Alex to Melanie. That's a big no-go on your stuff. So obviously there's some go-between there. Just buy a new computer. They won't give it back to you. They are holding it for leverage until you help them. So just write it off. 12/11/2019, Chad tells Alex that he paid the bills on the Rexburg house, at which point Alex said he was just going to let it go with all of his stuff. Why would all of his stuff be in the Rexburg house? The apartment? Or the house? Anyways, 12/12/2019, there's very little communication from Alex. The last communication on Alex's phone was a call to Chad and Lori at the Raphael number. And then after reviewing Alex's phone, I reviewed Zalema's phone based on the text messages from Zalema's cell phone.
Wait. Back the truck up to the previous page.
Right?
I got to zoom in. Okay. Chad, no, the one up 2 lines from that. Chad tells Alex that he paid the bills on the Rexburg house, at which point Alex said he was just going to let it go with all his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So is Chad getting sick and tired of Alex at this point? Maybe?
No, they were in Hawaii at this point. They had skipped to Malou to Hawaii because after the welfare check that the cops did on 11/26/2019, this is what prompted them to move to Hawaii. But when people sit here and accuse Chad and Lori of trying to literally physically build a Church of the Firstborn to 2.6 miles away, I guess. I don't know where this property is. Anyways, within the same zone, like in the same city, in the same town, Rexburg, because that's what David said. David Warwick testified that Chad had showed him this lot. I think this lot is called a casting lot, is what I see.
David Warwick is Melanie Gibbs, boyfriend at the time, right? Yes,
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
but
because
what does it mean when Alex said he was just going to let it go with all his stuff? What does that mean?
I don't know. And why is it? Because Alex had at this point had already quit a job to be right there with Lori and just be her protector, whatever. Okay, to kill Uncle Charles, then to move with her and Tylee and JJ in September 1st timeframe of 2019 to Rexburg. They got apartments, but they were in each other's names. So, when Lori, I want to say her defense team, Thomas and I can't think of Archibald, Jim Archibald. Whenever they gave a what do you call that? An alibi. They gave an alibi. Lori put up an alibi, saying that she was at her apartment when the children were killed, which is interesting, right? Because didn't she say that Tylee? You know what I'm saying? It's so chaotic and confusion.
Yes. Yeah, I'm confused. That's why I had you back the truck up, because I'm so confused. It doesn't make sense.
I don't know what it means. I don't.
I'm going to let it go. What he's
it go is a term that's interesting that Melanie uses. Melanie Gibb. She uses frozen. Okay, which anybody following and looking into MK Ultra, okay, that's frozen. Let it go. That's some kind of programming that's being used. I don't know. I'm just pointing it out. I can't prove it. But frozen, let it go. You get it? You know what I'm saying? Let it go. Let it go. I don't know. I didn't watch it. But frozen she lied to the cops and said that, Lori wanted Melanie Gibb to lie to the cops and say that she was at a movie. She brought JJ to a movie, Frozen, and take pictures of random children. Okay, because that'll work. Okay. And so Melanie goes along with that for a while.
She does? Does she go literally take pictures at a movie theater?
I don't know. I wasn't there, but none have been produced. Let's just say that. So another thing
Oh.
is like whenever Chad, actually Garth called 911 after Tammy died, right? They allegedly find her that morning and he's like, I don't know, she's frozen. So that's another term. It's used quite a bit. Okay. I don't know. Then you have Emma looking like Frozen, the character in Frozen afterwards. I have my own weird reason for why that may be. I don't know. But I don't want to get stuck in it. So
It's hard not to. It's so
it
hard.
is. I mean, I want to
right?
just sit here and talk about it, but because nothing is off limits in my or our research, nobody tells me if it's no, that's bad. Like everything's on the table because I have a lot of questions that have not been answered. And I've found a lot of answers to my questions by doing my own research. I can't explain it. I can't sit here and tell you about it. I'm going to try and write about it, but I mean, it's confusion. And I mean, at the end of the day, I was not there. And so I don't know. Here are the options, like, I don't know, take your choice. That's basically where I'm at. So unless one or all of these people were to come forward and actually tell the truth and not just be to save their own asses. Okay. But until then, it just leads to more questions. So anyways, after reviewing Alex's phone, I reviewed Zulema's phone. Based on the text messages from Zulema's cell phone, here's a basic timeline of important events. 2/25/18, Melanie Gibb becomes Zulema's visiting teacher. Okay. Melanie Gibb introduces Zulema to Lori and Chad in October 2018 at Preparing a People event in Utah. I don't know, Utah, Lori, redacted, whatever the hell that means. So 11/3/2018 at 14:40 hours, Zulema tells Lori that she was told by God that she is to protect Lori. How many protectors do you need, girl? January 11th, 2019, Zulema had a vision that she could create storms and fire and will have the eye of the Lord, which is interesting because there's the arm of the Lord, the eye of the Lord. There's all kinds of the Lords, okay? I know that from following and looking more into the Lafferty brothers, the Lafferty case. He was the arm of the Lord. And so I've been like, and Chad claims that he was once or somewhere along the lines, I want to say it was in Melanie and David's infamous Reddit email, basically, that Chad claimed to be the Holy Ghost. So I really think they got busted doing some damn dark occult practices with other people. And they're just the ones that have to kind of deflect. And there's different roles in these secret societies, I guess you could say. And I mean, it's not a
maybe
far
they
fetch.
found some. Maybe they found some peyote out in the desert.
Oh, definitely. It was that David Hamblin does that all the live long day, allegedly. But I mean, that's okay. And Tim Ballard, he was using ketamine treatments allegedly with Tom Harrison right there. So here we have Tom Harrison.
Isn't that what was responsible for the Friends actor?
Yeah.
Matt LeBlanc.
Joey.
Matt LeBlanc.
I mean, not Joey.
No, not Joey. No,
Matt.
there were two Matts on
Don't
Friends.
ask me
Yeah,
for the name right.
but wasn't that ketamine?
Bean. Chandler Bean was his character name.
Yes.
I don't know. I've slept since then. My memory sucks. I'm not sure. But there's a lot of people that are charged with his death now,
Yes, there are.
I don't know.
Matthew Perry, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So, I mean, that's very likely, and I mean, I want to say it was Jess who was Brandon Boudreaux's and Melanie Boudreaux Pulowski now. She was a friend of theirs, and I actually did an analysis on her interview because it's a long interview with Hidden True Crime. So Jess's interview was on July 9th, 2021 with Hidden True Crime, provides a deeply personal and insightful account of the events surrounding Lori Vallow Daybell and Chad Daybell, offering a unique perspective as someone closely connected to Brandon Boudreaux and Melanie Boudreaux Pulowski. Her narrative highlights the emotional toll these events took on those in their immediate circle. And so here's an analysis of key aspects of her interview. It's just so, because we can't just play it because we don't own it. So 1, relationship dynamics and the hub of information. Close ties. Jess's husband was a business partner with Brandon Boudreaux for over a decade, and Jess herself was a close friend of Melanie Pulowski when she was Brandon's wife. This established a significant degree of proximity to the unfolding events. Initial innocence. Jess's description of her early interactions with Melanie and Lori in 2010 to 2018 depicts a seemingly normal friendship centered around shared activities and family events. Lori was known primarily through Melanie. And then there's the business as a hub. The shared business became an accidental, quote unquote, hub for information as Charles Vallow, Brandon, and Zach. No, they put Melanie's son, Zach, who's Adam's son, all worked there or were connected to it. This meant that before the public was aware, this inner circle was piecing together the unsettling changes in Lori and Melanie's behavior. And then it says Charles Vallow's connection. Jess's husband and Brandon were good friends with Charles Vallow, and Charles was even in the process of a startup with them when he was killed. This personal connection underscores the shock and disbelief felt by the group, which is interesting because I remember hearing that Melanie didn't really care for Charles because Brandon had done business with Charles. For Lori to have that Juice Island business in Hawaii, where it's been said that all she would do is just go basically pick up the money. Okay. That was interesting. So that's interesting. Number 2, the shift into preparing a people and the cult. So introduction to preparing a people. Melanie introduced Jess to preparing a people in late 2018, framing it as a health and wellness initiative that could help Jess with her recovery from illness. This highlights how such groups, they're spiritually preparing people for the second coming of Christ, really, is what their thing said. So this highlights how such groups can initially appeal to vulnerable individuals by addressing personal needs. Initial skepticism. Jess found the teachings, quote, too weird, unquote, and too much, particularly the spiritual stuff, energy healing, and pendulum use. This shows her early resistance to the more extreme aspects. And then Lori okay.
So you know that Chad's not going around with his pendulum in this. So it's like that. Well, he may be himself, but he's not like personally teaching all of these people that show up at this conference like the use of a pendulum. It's trickle down, like multi-level marketing. Like he teaches somebody who teaches somebody, and then so it's like widespread organizational. If this report talks about pendulum use, it's not just Chad. Like all the reports that I heard before.
No kidding, right?
I pictured in my mind that it was just like Chad using his pendulum, and I'm like, he's a whack. But they're teaching it like organizationally at these meetings.
Yeah, that does sound right. I mean, that sounds like it could be likely, like it's likely. Jess said Melanie had people watching her house after Brandon took the kids to protect them. And that's so wild to me. Y'all don't know why she is not even going to be in this trial. I don't know. It's one of those
Oh,
things,
John.
man. It's just, I feel like it's going to piss me off even more.
John Williams.
He's funny. Oh, oh yeah, that's gross.
That's really gross.
But you know it's true. You know it is. You know it. I know it. Okay. You talk about booty taps, so there you go. John is hilarious. He's the channel comedian.
I'm there. I'm there now.
I'm right there with you, Golden Rule. I do too. I think it. Now. I never had an opinion about this before, but it's disgusting. It really is. And Chad's pendulum moving is disgusting as well. Ah.
I didn't. No, not going
Visuals
there.
you never wanted.
Nope. Not gonna do it. I'm blocking that portal opening. I'm blocking that portal opening.
Oh, it's a big portal opening too.
Nope.
It's gigantic. Anyway, Jess clearly distinguishes between 2008 Quiet Innocent podcast and 2019 when Lori went off the rails. That's in quotes. This is when the bizarre and threatening behaviors began, observed through Zach's accounts and the increasing concerns of Charles and Brandon. Then it says mental health versus brainwashing versus psychedelics. So see, this is kind of that part. Jess grapples with understanding the drastic change in Melanie and Lori. She raises the possibilities of mental illness, drawing a parallel to her aunt's schizophrenia, brainwashing, or even psychedelic use, indicating the struggle to comprehend such a profound shift in personality and belief. I don't know. Did you ever see her use? That's what I need to know. Then it's the escalation of violence and fear, underestimation of threat. Initially, even when Lori threatened to quote unquote destroy Charles, Jess assumed it meant financially or reputationally, never imagining physical violence. This speaks to the initial disbelief regarding the escalating danger. It was crazy. And I didn't even know them. I don't know them now, but still, I don't know Jess. Charles's death and Brandon's fear. The immediate aftermath of Charles's death, with Alex Cox being identified as the shooter, instantly raised red flags for Jess and her circle. Brandon's immediate fear, quote, "I'm going to be next," proved tragically prescient. Is that how you say that? Prescient? Brandon's prescient? I don't know. Brandon's attempted murder and the horror, the quote unquote horror. The shooting of Brandon in October is a pivotal moment, plunging Jess and her family into intense fear. Her visceral description of Brandon looking, quote, like a ghost, unquote, and her internal struggle about housing him due to safety concerns for her own family powerfully conveys the terror. I can't imagine. And I mean, I was ducking behind things. Whenever somebody would go real slow, I would duck. And so that was
like for
not
real?
even knowing any of the other side, just knowing about Uncle Charles being murdered. And then, that I don't know. It was scary. It was scary. I'm not playing. And I mean, I'm not even mentioned, my mom is. And that's to hear my mom even tell me, whenever I interviewed her after she testified in Charles's for the last trial, mom said that, she would, because I knew that she would walk around the house with her pistol for a time, and they had this one huge window in their kitchen that, there's no window covering for it. And she said that she would like duck, get onto the couch and be lower than the window, and she'd watch TV, with her pistol. And I'm just like, that is so, it pisses me off. It pisses me off all over again, And
but
that's
can you blame her? Can you blame her though? Can you blame her?
No, but
Not at
if
all.
I was doing it, then I know for hell she was,
Yeah.
Just saying, it was a very, terrorizing time frame, you know? It really was. It was scary. Yeah.
Well, here's the bottom line is that several people, and not just children, ended up unalived.
Yeah.
Like Tammy,
Tammy
Charles, and
the enemy Brandon was shot at, but missed.
right. Yeah.
Whether it was intentional or not, I mean, he took the shot. We wouldn't be here if he decided not to.
Whether it was intentional or not, they took the seat out and the tire off, right? Yeah.
Which is, in my opinion, like textbook of what a conspiracy looks like. I'm like, oh God,
right.
You have this going on over here.
Especially what gets to me is that they took it off in Rexburg and they put it in the Rexburg storage unit. And then he drove it down to Gilbert and took the shot and then drove it back. Like he didn't just like spontaneously take it off there in Gilbert and be like, yeah, maybe we're going to go take a shot. They planned it out well in advance. And we're going to see that in court. We're totally going to see that in court. Lori's not going to have any defense. She's not going to have any witnesses. She's not going to have any evidence.
She's guilty and she knows it. We know it. I mean, everybody, you could not have ears to hear and you could not have eyes to see. You did not personally witness it, but we know. We just know. I pulled that body cam up too. So after I'm done with this, we'll play that body cam of whenever the police went into Lori, Melanie, and I don't know if Alex's apartment's on there, but we'll go to that real quick afterwards.
Awesome.
So it says the period, constant fear and stalking. And it says the period from October to December 2019, which is when Alex died, was characterized by constant fear, double checking locks, and the perception of being watched. The quote unquote angel warriors actively tracking Brandon further amplified this sense of threat. Angel warriors, my ass. Alex Cox as a central threat. Alex Cox was particularly feared, especially after Tammy Daybell's death. The group feared he would, quote, show up and shoot everybody in the office, unquote. Can you imagine? Media's role in safety. Jess explicitly states that the media's involvement and Alex's death were the first times they felt safe in months. This highlights the perceived inadequacy of law enforcement's initial response and the crucial role the public played in bringing attention to the case. Oh, yeah. Number 4, Melanie Pawlowski's role in Jess's internal conflict. Mourning a living friend. Jess's profound statement, quote, to me, Melanie died too, unquote. And I can freaking relate to that because I felt like that with Lori. Encapsulates her grief over the loss of the friend she knew, even though Melanie is alive. This highlights the psychological impact of seeing a loved one transform due to extremist beliefs. It sucks. I mean, when I saw Lori enter the courtroom in March of 2020, not 6, I was like, I don't know who that person is. Like, she to me was a carcass. Like, she's the zombie, basically. She's the zombie. Because I didn't know who that person was anymore. So, denial and non-responsiveness. Melanie's increasing unresponsiveness to Jess's text and her public Facebook post asking for help finding Brandon and the kids when Jess believed Brandon was in danger from Melanie's associates were deeply concerning. And that's bold to me. Like, for Melanie to be like, she would make Facebook posts offering a reward to find her kids and Brandon.
Wasn't there like a $20,000 reward that she offered and she shared it on his page or on his Facebook page or something? I don't know
if it might have been 10,000, but I know Mom and Larry did a $20,000 one. So I don't know. I didn't I didn't notice that. I don't remember it. It's buried in all this stuff somewhere.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she shared it on his Facebook page.
I think she did. I
Like-
think she tagged him.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's what I mean. She tagged him. Yep. That's that's ballsy. That's ballsy.
Very. Yeah, she had some kajangas. Okay. The November 7th, 8th conversation. This lengthy conversation with Melanie after the Facebook post is crucial. Melanie's claim that she didn't know the children were missing, but, quote, trusted Lori and believed that they were okay, unquote, is directly contradicted by Jess's own observations of the events and her clear disbelief. So that's interesting, right? Because the kids were not officially, like the welfare check had not happened till the 26th of November. And so that's when we officially knew that JJ and Tylee were missing. But
Wait,
it still didn't-
are we talking about Brandon and Melanie's kids, or are we talking about JJ and Tylee?
Melanie's claim that she didn't know the children were missing. I don't know. I was thinking Tylee and JJ.
Oh yeah. Children missing. That's JJ and Tylee. Yeah, but I was thinking
Right.
about to the previous post.
So
Brandon
that
and the
didn't-
kid. Brandon
Yeah.
and the kids are mentioned in the previous post.
That's true.
So I was thinking.
I don't know.
thinking
I'd
it
have to
was-
go watch it again to get the
Right.
context of it. But if anybody knows, please share. Because I didn't watch it recently, to know. But it says Melanie's continued support for Lori. The final breaking point in their friendship was Melanie's declaration that she would support Lori, quote, until she's been found guilty, unquote. This unyielding loyalty, despite the mounting evidence in the children's deaths, was incomprehensible to Jess.
Guess what?
Absolutely.
She's been found guilty, and now Melanie,
Uh-huh.
you're on the defense witness list.
Multiple
You're
times.
welcome.
She needs to be. Melanie's changing communication style. Jess notes that Melanie's, quote, long non-response, unquote, style of communication was a new development, emerging after she became involved with Chad and Lori. Yeah. Number 5, belief systems and motivation. Chad's belief system as the catalyst. Jess views Chad's belief system as the primary driver, with Lori, quote, pulling Melanie Pulowski in, unquote. Exploiting the need to, quote unquote, matter. Jess identifies a key recruitment tactic of cults targeting individuals who quote, are needing to matter, needing to be important, unquote. She believes this resonated strongly with Lori and Melanie, particularly Melanie's need for external validation and her past trauma surrounding her mother's death. Yep. Oh, spouse swapping. Gross. Okay, hold on. Chad's deception. Jess believes Chad intentionally fabricated aspects of his quote unquote fiction and prophecies for attention and status. I agree. Not genuinely believing all the quote unquote light and dark details. Spouse swapping. Okay. Jess confirms hearing stories of spouse swapping justified by quote unquote past life connections, further illustrating the extreme and manipulative nature of the group's beliefs. Yes, Tim Ballard too. Don't forget about him. We were married before that, and Julie Rowe. I mean, it's these same people. It's these really odd, exploitative people. It's weird. Anyways, so trauma and healing, personal trauma. Jess openly discusses her own trauma from the events, describing it as, quote, regressing and feeling, quote, emotional with each new development. Coping mechanisms. She found solace and healing through therapy and channeling her emotions. Oh my God. Through therapy and channeling her emotions into music. Her album, Pavlov's Tears. Okay. Difficulty talking about it. Jess explains why she and others have been silent for 2 years. The need to protect the prosecution, the severe trauma, the difficulty of speaking without breaking down, and the challenge of discerning trustworthy individuals from those seeking, quote, scoops, unquote. Motivation for speaking out. Her primary motivation for coming forward is to inform the public, believing that public awareness was crucial in saving lives and holding perpetrators accountable. She feels an obligation to those who cared and helped. Absolutely. Conclusion. Jess's interview is a raw and compelling testament to the devastating impact of Chad and Lori's actions on their inner circle. It provides crucial insights into the gradual and insidious nature of radicalization, the psychological and emotional toll on those who witness such transformations and violence, the desperate need for external intervention, media, public attention, when official responses are perceived as inadequate, the complex and often painful process of grappling with the betrayal of trust from loved ones who succumb to extreme beliefs, the resilience of individuals in the face of profound fear and loss. Y'all need to go listen to this too. Her poem, The Murders in Our Midst, powerfully encapsulates her feelings of betrayal, grief, and the lingering psychological scars of the events. It's a poignant end to an interview that emphasizes the human cost behind the sensational headlines. It gave me chills.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, now I gotta find where. Okay, here it is. I'm like, where the hell did I put it? So this is body cam footage that shows police responding to Lori Vallow's home, asking about JJ Vallow. So, and this is what we got till FOIA comes out. Okay, let me turn this on. So this is Detective Ron Ball, and I forget the other guy's name. Sorry. There's a damn volume. There they are.
Her car's out there too. What? In the back. It's blue.
Blue Nissan Rogue then.
Blue Subaru.
Not a Subaru. It was crazy to see this and not just hear it.
So it was played in her trial in Idaho.
Oh, police department, how are you? You got a minute? You all alone or you got help?
My brother's here.
Okay. That's Detective Stubbs. Hello.
See you.
So, we're here.
Wow, this is a big mess. I just talked to the guy on the phone.
And what do you ask?
He was just saying that he wanted to do a well check on JJ.
So, JJ would be where?
He's in Arizona.
Who's he with in Arizona?
He's with one of my friends in Arizona.
Oh. Oh, okay. You got a notepad?
You got an old bat,
You want?
not a notepad.
No. Come here.
Yeah, I don't know why. I hear you got an old bat whenever Alex walks up. And the bat meaning I know about Charles is basically what I get from it. Anyway,
You gotta know that, maybe?
an old bat. They're saying notepad on the thing right here, but I hear you got an old bat.
I hear you gotta know that.
Well, hear it again.
He's with one of my friends in Arizona.
Oh.
Why would he ask him
You got a
about a notepad?
notepad? No. Oh, you want?
Why would he ask about a damn notepad or whatever you just said? What did you say? A nob. What?
You got to know that. Maybe,
Doesn't sound like
but
it.
that doesn't make sense with the response. No, that doesn't
Right.
make sense.
All right.
Oh,
I mean,
you got a notepad? No. Oh, you want? No. Come here. Mikey comes in.
Oh,
So,
sorry.
who's the friend he's with?
My friend Melanie. Her son has autism. Her name's Melanie Good. I gave him all the information on the phone.
Okay, so he can call
Yeah.
or Discord.
Yeah. What is all this?
We're a little
What is it?
concerned
Why?
because, well, the officers who were here earlier
Yeah.
were checking and they got a bad vibe that like something was going on here because nobody knew anything about a child. They weren't talking.
It's because a lot of
What's going
stuff has gone on. If you want to know, it's a lot of stuff. So
Well, that's why we're concerned because it just was kind of weird.
it is very weird. I've had to move around a lot. one of my brothers is trying to kill me. Not the brother that lives here, obviously. He's kind of my protector. My other brother was in with my husband
No,
who was trying to
Adam is trying to kill her. She just accused Adam of trying to kill her. She just accused Adam of trying to kill her.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, I had to turn my air back on, so I muted myself so y'all wouldn't have to hear it. But yeah, that's projection.
Right?
Big time. And where's this damn $2 million damn life insurance? Oh Lord.
Is Alec is Adam dark yet at
Oh,
this
yeah.
point?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kind of my protector. My other brother was in with my husband who was trying to kill me for my $2 million life insurance policy.
No.
So a lot of stuff has gone on in this last year. It's been a horrible year for us. I've had to move around. And so I was going to move back to Arizona, put my son back in the school there because I tried to put him in school here, public school at Kennedy.
Okay.
He went for 2 months. We tried it, but he had such a hard time. Now, the person who called is my sister-in-law, but she's his natural grandmother. He's adopted by us. Okay, so her son, who is a drug addict, had a baby with a girl who's a drug addict, and they took him from, CPS took him, gave him to the grandmother. She came by him, and then she wanted us to adopt him, which we did. And we loved him.
By
And
us.
my husband and I, who died earlier this year.
Okay.
He passed away. Since he passed away, she's been trying to fight me for him and being really horrible to me and that kind of stuff. She's kind of the paternal friend.
Okay, thank
Does
you.
that make sense?
That's what I
Sorry.
The paternal grandmother.
And he has autism and ADHD. He doesn't really talk to people. Like he's
Yes,
very
he
special
does.
needs. So I had him in a special needs school there. She was trying to. So what happened was, my husband, who we were married for 15 years and had raised all these 5 kids together, switched his life
13.
insurance policy to her, right? To his sister,
Okay.
who got $1 million when he died, and we got nothing. For me to raise JJ, and all the kids got nothing, and everybody got nothing. She got $1 million. So I knew she was going to try to sue me for him, or yeah, because she now has this $1 million.
so
she can hire people to help.
Effing pissed
And
right
I have
now.
nothing. 'Cause my
But you
kids
have
don't nothing,
legal
but
custody.
He's my son. I adopted him.
This is as pissed at her as I've been since your mother testified in trial that she sent your uncle's ashes to Lake Charles by FedEx or UPS or whatever it was. Like this makes me so freaking mad. She's blaming JJ. She's blaming Kay. She's blaming everybody but herself, and she just makes so light of it that I almost like, if I were watching TV right now, I'd change the channel because I'm so mad. And I know it's like 100 times for you. I know the level of intensity is 100 times for you. And I feel just letting you feel that a little bit. Are you muted? Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Well, good. I was muted because I was talking right over you. Sorry. Yeah, I was like, yeah, today would have been JJ's 13th birthday. So yeah, I'm extra bitter today. Yeah. He's not dumb.
No. Nope.
And he actually repeated everything everybody said. So I'm just saying he was no good to have around for what she was doing. You know. Yeah, she's disgusting big time.
I'm so fucking pissed.
I know.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
She does that. She has that effect.
She now has this $1 million. She can hire people to help. him, and I have nothing.
She
So
could have
you
done it
have
without the husband
legal
finding
custody.
Valley.
he's my son. I adopted him when
Right.
he was 2 years. We had him from the time he was 8 months old till 2 years old. So she does nothing unless to cause me
She's 2
trouble.
years old.
So I don't tell people the truth about
She's stupid.
where we are and what we're doing because of those reasons. So I look like a suspect, but I am
You
not
are.
a good person. Raised all of my kids. I've done everything that I'm supposed to do in life, but everyone is causing me trouble right now.
No, right.
So
We don't want to cause a lot of trouble. How long have you been here?
we only been here since September.
Okay.
We moved up here in September. My daughter's going to BYUI.
Your daughter goes to BYU?
Yeah.
Does she live here?
So it's been a nightmare, but I'm going to go back to Arizona so I can put him back in the special needs school. He couldn't do the school here. It was too hard for him. He would scream and cry, take him to school. The principal would have to come out, try to drag him out of the car. Like, it's just was too hard. But I just don't tell people where I am. I don't tell her where I am ever. And she doesn't have any legal rights to anything. Like, she's been horrible to me since my husband died.
My understanding, she never called you to try to get the child, you know, hey, I'm interested in the child back, you know, but
I
that,
know, but she sends me these emails with like the date and like she's putting up court stuff, you know, like
Yeah, document your shit.
she's documenting. I haven't heard from him in all this time, and so I've told her that he's fine. But
See, and we hadn't heard any of that as far as,
I'm just saying she's doing this as part of that. Is my understanding.
and our only concern in this whole thing
Yeah, it's like
is
he's
the,
fine.
is the child.
I got it.
And so that's where we're at on that. And then
So
we
I
were just a
called.
little weirded out when, you know, and I understand now that we've heard your side of the story.
It's awful. They just I feel like I'm being
It's
tracked all the
awful.
time. I'm like, why are police coming to my car? What did I do?
they said they were out visiting two guys, and I'm assuming one's your brother.
It was this, yeah.
Who was the other one? The other guy they were visiting with. There were two.
This-
Well, we had two detectives over here trying to,
Looking for you a
Oh,
little while ago.
because I was at the store.
and they ran into
Mhm.
probably one of your brothers. in
My
the back
brother
here.
and his friend, probably.
Oh,
He's
who's
been
that?
moving. Chad?
Chad from Rapid? What's his last name?
November 26, 2019.
Okay.
She too. I like her name.
All right.
So it's just a mess. Like, just constantly causing me trouble.
Chad the Daybell.
I like that part.
He's an author.
Wait. The detectives ran into her brother and his friend Chad.
Yeah, outside. Ray Hermosillo testifies to that. Mm-hmm. They're outside and they look at each other like, Chad act like he didn't know Lori or her number, but she's married to him at this point. November 5th, 2019 is when they got married. So it's nothing but get these police out of here and then they haul ass. But Melanie Pulowski says that it was a plan to move, but it's not what it sounds like when she's crying in the audios recorded by Ian.
This
You know?
is nuts. This is all so nuts.
It is. It's so deceptive. It's gross. It's gross.
But it's also stupid. It's also dumb criminals. Like
Yeah.
they're leaving behind so many trails of evidence. Alex and Chad being seen together in Rexburg.
Yeah.
Like, how did you think that connection was not going to be made?
Right.
They're just so.
He's just some author. Yeah.
They're just dumb. Like they really
It doesn't
are.
make them less deadly though. They're
No,
dumb.
correct.
I'm right
Yes.
there with you. Just like when I pick on how nerdy Chad is with his pendulum. Okay. I'm just saying it doesn't make them any less deadly.
No, there's a trail of
All their
bodies
weird
behind them.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. It worked. It did what they needed to be done, for so long. And all the people around them, protecting them and themselves, mainly themselves. I think everybody's out for their self. It's like this group, of jacked up people, not vulnerable, jacked up. Okay. I don't know. It's just manipulative to the nth degree.
Chad the Daybell.
He's an author.
He's out there.
Doesn't he live like out in the? Isn't that the Chatty Bell that? Yeah, his wife passed away recently. Is that him?
Oh yeah.
I don't know,
Mhm. I agree with you. Hawkeye.
Yeah,
but it sounds familiar as an author.
I think I know one of his. He's got a couple of daughters.
He has lots of kids.
He has lots of kids.
Okay, so.
They're all alive.
What? You need anything else? Sorry to bother you.
Thank you.
We don't mean to be a
I'm
problem.
sorry that people are constantly knocking on me.
After
Everybody's
me.
looking for me, and I just don't want to be found. So
Nobody wants you, Hooker.
well, the reason I'm moving is because the brother that was going to kill me, that we found emails and texts with my husband at the time, he was showing up here, so he found out where it was, and he was.
He didn't show up there one day.
No, this was your brother
One of my brothers.
showed up here and was knocking on your door.
He lives in Kansas.
And you said something about you were getting threatening emails?
Well, no, just after my husband passed, I found emails and texts between them that they were planning all this stuff to get rid of me.
To get rid of me.
Come over.
Well, that's when I'm moving back. I'm moving, and I'm not going to be in a place. I'm going to live with my friend, Melanie. Don't tell anybody her name, because I don't want anything in my name. I put the apartment in my name, but I've been staying over here.
He said, don't tell anybody, Melanie. Don't tell anybody, Gib. She's so stupid. Don't. Oh my God. Let me hear that again.
Moving, and I'm not going to be in a place. I'm going to live with my friend, Melanie. Don't tell anybody her name, Gib, because I don't want anything in my name. I put the apartment in my name, but I've been staying over here with my brother because he protects me.
Okay.
He's very protective of me, so.
If he shows back up, you know, you
That's
can
so
call, take care of
Well,
it.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I just it's just a nightmare. I mean, I canceled the insurance policy since my husband passed, so there's
Oh, her $2 million insurance policy. She said she canceled it. Somebody needs to tell her. Okay. Oh my God.
no money if they kill. And what are they going to do with JJ and Tylee? Like, what do people think?
What did you do with JJ and Tylee at this point?
So,
Well, if you have a problem, shows back up, feel free to call us. We'll come and let them off or something.
She didn't call you this time.
All right. Okay, get out of here. See you later.
Thank you. See ya. Not.
And then here's the other one.
Wasn't Melanie the one living up here supposed to be her daughter, Laura's daughter?
No, this was the friend that
That's Melanie Boudreaux they're talking about.
she's going back down to live with, she said.
Right. She's got a daughter named Melanie.
Let's just see if she will call and have Melanie get a hold of Hope and just do a verification,
Melanie Gibb.
because apparently she's not answering the phone down there.
CYA.
I wouldn't answer that damn phone either.
Hmm?
If I were Melanie, I wouldn't answer that phone either.
Well, she didn't. But the FBI set up a camera outside of her house, too.
Did they really?
Oh, yeah.
Do we have footage of that?
I mean, it's in the report, but have we seen it? No.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. It's not relevant.
Right.
Joking. It's
Yeah.
relevant to me. But
Right.
Mom
Yeah.
actually had told me a while back, too, that she had recorded her and Melanie, my mom and Melanie Gibbs' conversation. And she was like, I need to find that and give it to you and let you do, analyze it or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm chomping at the bit. Come on, I'll take your damn name. I'll take all Mom out of there and just have none but Melanie Gibb and listen to her, what she said, My mom straight recorded her. Yeah. We're one party state here. So just saying.
Right.
Come on, Mom. We're almost at the end here. Let's do it. All right. Answer your damn door.
All right, Lori, sorry to bother you again. Yeah, we're having Melanie get hold of your friend down there. Melanie.
Well, they were going to Frozen 2 today,
There it is.
so they may be after this.
Could you get a hold of her at some point and say, can you please call back the officer that's been trying to call you?
Okay, sure.
'Cause
Yeah, because I think they are at the movies right now.
okay,
I'll call her.
he's been trying to call her or the other officer. She's not answering.
Okay.
But if they're at the movie, that's
Probably at Frozen 2 right now,
yeah.
because that's one thing he wanted to do.
I'm frozen too.
Yeah. So
It's so cold here. She hates
That's probably why.
yeah. So if she'll just return his call, that'd be great. Okay, thanks.
Okay, sure. I've got excuses all day long.
All
As
day.
many questions as you ask,
Yeah.
I'll have an excuse.
Yeah. And she's very much like that, isn't she?
In court too. In court too.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, hold on. So I'm about to go turn my air back off because it's too loud. I can't even think. It's getting cooler outside. Finally, it's dark. So it's only 80, which is not bad, but it's freaking humid. It's so humid here.
Did you get
Yes,
your
I did.
snowplow ready?
My what?
Your snowplow.
We don't have those.
It's getting down to 80.
Yeah, I know, huh? I can't even get it cool. But of course, I'm a middle-aged woman. So whatever. Well, so there's this timeline, okay? And again, some of it, I don't know who put this up, but it's on crime timelines / Lori Vallow conspiracy Brandon Boudreaux / And it says Brandon Boudreaux reports an attempted shooting outside his home at 3875 East Phelps Street, Gilbert, Arizona. October 2nd, 2019, attempted murder event. Brandon returns from the gym to his Arizona home when he is shot at with the bullet missing his head by inches. The shooter was driving a Jeep registered to then deceased Charles Vallow. 7:17 a.m., Alex Cox searches again for directions to Brandon Boudreaux's wood from his current location, which was the LDS Temple, 3301 South Greenfield Road, Gilbert, Arizona. One of those recurring themes is that Alex feels comfortable, like even being excommunicated from the church twice, that he can just go hang out in church and temple parking lots comfy. Like he's so comfortable with that. And that makes me uncomfortable. Okay. It really does.
That's not just a church, that's the temple, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 3301 South Greenfield is where the temple is. And he Googles Brandon Boudreaux's address. So people were like, well, how did he get the address? So did he get the address from Google? I mean, he only lived there for 5 days. Nobody knew except for Melanie Boudreaux and like the neighbors that helped him move, and I mean, nobody that wanted him dead, except for Melanie. Weird stuff's happening, going through a divorce. It's contentious and
right. Melanie and the gatherers, right? Do you think she shared that with all of them?
And what?
Do you think she shared that with all of the gatherers and Alex?
Yes, absolutely. Because she was in Rexburg from September 26th, the 27th, the 28th, and returned to Arizona on the 29th. And then, so there's only September 30th, right? And then October 1st. And then he was shot at October 2nd during a kid exchange, which is Lori Vallow's MO. Anytime Alex was attacked, whenever Alex was attacking somebody, like Joe Ryan was at a kid exchange, with Charles at a kid exchange, with now Brandon and Melanie, their kid exchange. Okay. That's what I see. patterns.
So she followed, this is a big timeline event for me. She followed Lori up to Rexburg, and she was quote unquote living, staying, whatever, temporarily up there in Rexburg. She came back like literally a couple of days before.
Mm-hmm. So one could surmise that she was in Rexburg conspiring. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. That's exactly what I'm gonna say. Okay,
One
hold
could
on.
surmise, allegedly.
Allegedly, thank you. They dirty. Let's see. Hold on, I'm backing up to somewhere else. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Hold on. I've got two of these windows pulled up. Let's see. How far back do we want to go? We want to go to the beginning. Okay. Like this investigation timeline, attempted murder of Brandon Boudreaux. 2008, Lori's niece, Melanie Pulowski, married, well, actually, it would have been Melanie Cope, married Brandon Boudreaux. They married on October 31st, 2008, because whenever Rich Robertson is the PI that Brandon Boudreaux hired, and he is the one who put a tag on the U-Haul, a tracker, okay, while Alex and Melanie were loading it up on October 31st, and she left the kids' stuff, some of her kids' stuff out on the front lawn with a sign, free sign on it. And that was October 31st, 2019. So I just found that interesting that it was their anniversary that she moved. So Lori's niece, Melanie Cope, married Brandon Boudreaux, and over the years, they had 4 children together. Brandon was reportedly close with Lori's family and baptized Tylee into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Fall of 2018, Lori and Melanie began attending meetings not sponsored by the church, but their spouses weren't allowed to attend. Melanie reportedly told Brandon that the firesides were, quote, her thing, and was very clear he was not welcome to come. Melanie became focused on the idea that the world was going to end soon. Melanie was not very religious when she married Brandon, but she began getting, quote, really passionate, unquote, about going to church and certain ideas at church. December 25th, 2018, Brandon and Melanie spent Christmas with Charles and Lori. They also say, I know Brandon testified to the fact that Melanie Gibb and her husband and family were there, and it was really odd and awkward and weird. January 2019.
Isn't part of that due to the fact that this whole circle thing had to do with hooking up? Like, I knew you in a past life, and we were married in a past life, so it's okay to hook
it
up.
Makes me feel like she knew Ian longer.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Do you think she might have been hooking up? Like,
I
just
think
speculation?
So.
Allegedly.
This is speculation. Yeah, it sounds like it because their stupid story of, oh, we got married quicker than anybody would. Like they're just a couple kids in love or something. No, I don't think so. What's love got to do with it, huh, Tina? Anyways, it just doesn't. It sounds like Lori and Chad. They're saying they met and immediately started conspiring to kill their family members. I don't get that. I don't. Can you imagine meeting somebody and just being like ready to pluck your family members off? It just doesn't. I feel like they've known each other longer too. But we have October 25th or 20, whatever the hell, October 26th, 2018 as when they met. So Chad and Lori. And so I feel like Ian and Melanie might have could have possibly allegedly maybe known each other longer as well. It just makes me feel better.
So I want to know what time period. So I interviewed Janelle Murphy, who actually went to the airport with Melanie Gibb to pick up Chad and take him to the house in Chandler And I'm trying to figure out what time period that was.
Say
Like,
that
really?
again. Which part?
So Janelle Murphy went with Melanie Gibb to the airport to pick up Chad and take him to the house, to Lori's house.
That was November 16th through 18th, 2019.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 2018. 2018.
Right. Yeah.
This is when they would have been sealed in the temple, and James and Elena's story was born. Okay.
Sealed in the Mesa Temple?
Gilbert.
There's a Gilbert Temple. Oh, geez.
Yep. Because the Mesa Temple went under construction in that time period.
Okay. Renovations.
Yep. So they could rededicate it. Oh my God. I just need to tell you my theory on that one day. Not today. But okay, let me find that again.
Sorry, didn't mean to distract you.
Oh no. You're fine. Okay, here we are. January 2019, Charles texts Brandon and told him that Lori was accusing him of infidelity. January 31st, 2019, unbeknown to Brandon, Charles Vallow is blocked on Brandon Boudreaux's phone. And he didn't do it. March 26, 2019, Brandon Boudreaux called Charles Vallow, and the call lasts 10 minutes. March 27, 2019, Charles Vallow attempts to call Brandon, but the call doesn't go through because his number was blocked. Again, Brandon had no knowledge of this. June 2019, Lori and Charles moved to Chandler, Arizona. Oh, okay. Actually, Lori did. June 27, 2019, Melanie asked Brandon Boudreaux for a divorce while at his house, Steve Cope, Melanie's father. What? This don't even make sense. Whomever made this timeline. Melanie asked Brandon Boudreaux for a divorce while at his house, Steve Cope, Melanie's father, period. Anyways, Melanie told Brandon that she received revelation from God that she wasn't safe at the house with him, and used this argument against him in court for establishing visitation rights. Brandon alleges that Melanie had become involved in a cult-like group influenced by Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell. Charles Vallow spoke with Brandon and warned him that Melanie was spending a lot of time with Lori Vallow. June 30th, 2019, Charles Vallow communicates with Zach Cox via text message. They talk about Brandon and Melanie Boudreaux's relationship and how Lori had ruined their marriage. Are you sure? It seems like that would be Adam. I don't know. Yeah, it makes me leery to go forward. You know? Because I don't know. They don't sound right to me.
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah. If you're going to be this elaborate, at least be elaborate with the facts.
And Zach was staying with the grandparents at that point, right?
He was he also had lived with Brandon and Melanie at some point as well. Because he worked with like Jess, her husband. He worked for Brandon and her husband and Jess's husband, I guess you could say. Yeah. Charles Vallow sends Lori a series of text messages, including some vague threats. 5:01 a.m. Be sure to look over your shoulder today. This is June 30th. This may be the day. It's coming. That much I promise you. I would say threats to expose, not to hurt, you know. And he says at 5:04 a.m. and your boyfriend too. 6:22 a.m. You will reap the destruction you have sown. I'll be there for JJ. Don't worry about that. Have a wonderful day being a hypocrite in church. Amen. 8:42 a.m. Lori, I know you don't much care how I feel, but just imagine this. How could my actions or breaking your heart result in what you've done? You accuse me of infidelity, but it's you who has been having an affair. It just keeps killing me. Maybe that's your goal. How can you live with yourself destroying our life? Mel and Brandon's, probably Mel and Brendan too. That's Melanie Gibb and Brendan Gibb. And then there's Melanie Boudreaux and Brandon Boudreaux. Okay. So there's two Mels, two sound almost Brandon. Okay. Now add Chad Daybell family and you've got a home run. The fact that you continue to go to the temple after all you've done shocks even me. There really is something wrong with you. I really don't want to do what I have to do, but you have to be exposed for what you really are. You won't even deny it or talk to me as to your reasons. That's what amazes me. That's what's amazing to me. You could allay some of what's about to happen, but I don't think you will. Lying has become second nature to you. You have been impressive in blaming me for all that has happened. You have destroyed me.
Mhm.
I've never been lower in my life. It's you that has done it. Please tell me why. Please. I will slow or minimize what's about to happen. It's you who has caused it. We have a son to raise, but that's all we have in common. I will work with you in his best interest and will be there Monday evening. You owe me an apology for all the false accusations you've made. You know I've been entirely faithful to you since the first day we met. I deserve an apology from you. Please respect that much. Yeah. Okay. July 1st, 2019. Yeah, I know, huh? Charles told Lori he was going to Idaho to talk to Tammy Daybell and Lori. About Lori and Chad's affair. July 8th. Huh?
Oh, that's yeah, with a narcissist and a cheating narcissist at that.
Mm-hmm. That's deadly.
Yeah, yeah, especially when you haven't told her about your changing her primary beneficiary in her life
Yeah.
insurance
Yeah.
policy.
Oh, yeah. And then the way Lori acts like it's my mom, like my mom did it. You know, like what?
Back in
No.
what was that, February or March when it was
Yeah.
changed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so it says July
When she
1st.
when she
Oh.
was gone for 72 or 76 days or whatever
Yeah.
that was. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Anyway.
She was flying the coop, you know. July 8, 2019, Melanie Boudreaux files for divorce from Brandon Boudreaux. Melanie told Brandon that she received revelation from God that she wasn't safe at the house with him and used this argument against him in court for establishing visitation rights. Brandon alleges that Melanie has become involved in a cult-like group influenced by Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell. Melanie continues to pay for the life insurance on Brandon despite seeking a divorce.
Ooh. That's information I didn't know. That's maybe a little bit relevant in the upcoming trial.
It is.
Wow. Oh my
She
gosh.
should be there. He should be there.
Yes.
I'd be there. I'd
Well,
have her on my list.
she was called by Lori. I wonder if she's going to
No,
show.
she wasn't. Was she?
Yes. Oh no.
Melanie
It was
Boudreaux?
Melanie Gibb.
Yeah, I'm like,
It was Zulema and Melanie Gibb. That's right. Yeah. You're right.
not Niecy.
No.
No niece. Okay, July 9, 2019, Lori learns of Adam and Charles's intervention plans from her mother, Janice Cox, and Summer Shiflett.
Now we know.
Mm-hmm. She then reached out to Alex Cox, Melanie Boudreaux, and Summer Shiflett to warn them of Adam and Charles's intervention. 7:21 p.m. Lori tells Melanie Boudreaux, quote, need to talk to you ASAP, unquote. 7:22 p.m. Melanie calls Lori. Lori texts Melanie, quote, I'll call you in 5, finding out what to do, unquote. On the phone with Chad, I'm sure. 7:45 p.m. Chad searches on Google for, quote, when you surprise someone with accusations, unquote. 8 p.m. Lori texts Melanie, quote, you can't go tomorrow. It's a setup for both of us. Still on the phone, finding out the details, unquote. 8:01 p.m. Lori texts Melanie. I'm going to stop saying quote. I hate it. 8:01 p.m. Lori texts Melanie. They have an elaborate plan. I'll call you soon. 8:05 p.m. Melanie sent Lori a text. I could take all the babies with and drive and take our stuff. 8:06 p.m. Lori replied to Melanie. You can't go at all. We both need to stay here to defend ourselves. Let me go up. 8:07 p.m. Lori added, it's coming to a head. This week will change everything. 8:08 p.m., Melanie responded, probably why I've felt sick about going, even when told to plan to go. And this is one of her siblings getting married, I believe. 8:15 p.m. Lori had just gone off the phone with Chad and then texted Melanie, call me. They talk. Oh, I'm sorry. Call me. They talk until 8:30 p.m. 8:15 to 8:30 p.m. After this phone call, Melanie and Lori shared SMS messages talking about Brandon Boudreaux and his dark spirit. Lori encouraged Melanie to keep Melanie and Brandon's daughter away from Brandon. 9:03 p.m. Lori advised Alex of the conflict. She sent him a text that read, so the plot thickens, call me when you can. 9:03 p.m. Alex calls Lori and they talked for 3 minutes. 9:16 p.m. Lori sent Melanie a text. They are gathering witnesses. It's just like Twilight. They are the vulture. 9:39 p.m. Charles had not heard from Lori and sent another text with nothing but question marks. 9:50 p.m. Lori texts Alex, getting sleepy, so I'm going to need you to stay close to me the next couple of days. Mel too. She can't go to Utah. They are planning some kind of intervention, but want Mel out of the way, so I'm left alone. I need to come get the stuff at your house. I want to know what the hell stuff that is and secure it. Lots to do. Thank you for standing by me. It's all coming to a head this week. I will be like Nephi, I am told, and so will you. With a heart emoji. Lori texts Melanie, Al is here. Charles says he will come over in the morning. That's a biggie. 9:50. It's like she knew. Lori texts Melanie, Al is here. Charles said he was coming over in the morning. Anyways, 9:56 p.m. to 10:52 p.m. Alex called Lori again, and the two talk until 10:52 p.m. So like almost an hour. 10:27 p.m. Charles texted Lori asking, did you spend $196 at Walmart grocery in Provo on UFCU card yesterday? July 10, 2019, 10:25 a.m. Lori and Melanie with an E messages. Lori and Melanie messages. Melanie, what? I wish there was a way to somehow be at the wedding, but I know this is more important. Lori says, I know, baby. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This is important to your mission, even though I know it's hard to just sit there. That doesn't make sense. Lori and Melanie messages. Lori Vallow, Alex Cox, and Melanie Boudreaux have lunch together on July 10th. And then Lori and Alex go to their sister, Summer Shiflett's house. 7:18 p.m., Lori Vallow and Melanie Boudreaux exchange text messages where Lori implores her to not go out of town for the wedding she was planning to attend. Lori sends Melanie an SMS message informing her that Alex was there and that Charles said he would be coming over in the morning. Sounds like she's in the know to me. July 11, 2019. Lori's brother, Alex Cox, shot and killed Lori's estranged husband, Charles. He claimed it was in self-defense. It was later declared a homicide. She was later convicted for it. We had that. July 13, 2019, Lori organized a casting for Brandon sorry, that doesn't say Boudreaux. She organized a casting for Brandon because he was quote unquote dark and had an evil spirit. Lori told her niece, Melanie Boudreaux.
2 days after her husband is shot.
Yeah.
Organizing a casting for Brandon Boudreaux.
Yeah.
This is not a distraught widow.
Yeah.
This is not coincidence. She's not like mourning her husband's, death
it's
because
business.
Her brother. Yes, it's on to the next one. It is literally on to the next one. We got that one taken care of. On to the next one.
Another one bites the dust. Oh yeah.
Holy crap! This lady is
psychopath.
Insert all kinds of words. I've got a few. But
yeah. July 13th. Yeah. Lori organized a casting for Brandon. Lori organized it for Brandon because he was dark and had an evil spirit. Lori told her niece Melanie that Boudreaux was part of Hitler's group and considered a very high dark. Melanie Boudreaux moves into her rental home in Chandler. Brandon moved his personal belongings out of his shared house with Melanie. They agreed to maintain 50-50 custody of their 4 children throughout the divorce process. 10:25 a.m., Melanie says, Adam just called Brandon and told him Al murdered Charles. He put it on speaker for me to hear. She can't spell. Melanie, can you talk, please? Melanie again. I think Brandon found out earlier. He seemed in shock a few hours ago, and then Adam and Brandon tried to use this situation to their advantage. He cornered me and Adam put it on speaker to tell me. Then Brandon said, do you still believe everything you believe? Melanie also texted, Brandon is with the moving truck. Brandon is with the moving truck at my new address, moving things. I'm at the house with the kids. Lori says, call me. Yes. I don't know what your microphone is doing. It's going, sounds like a dragon.
Oh, sorry. That's probably the air conditioner, just like yours.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's not bothering me. I just was wondering if it was like, I don't know. I just always try to name a sound. Okay.
You can name it.
Yep. It's a dragon. Anyways, 5:19 p.m. Melanie says, this is so disturbing. Does Tylee have a phone or a way to contact Brandon or Adam? Lori replies, nope, I still have it. Lori texts Chad Daybell and asked him to clear Melanie's house of bad spirits. Chad replied that he was working on it, but had to break down the bad spirits Brandon created. Chad Daybell sends Lori Vallow a series of text messages where he says Brandon can't get a restraining order against her because Chad don't know shit. Okay, first off. Okay, he says Brandon can't get a restraining order against her because she and Al didn't have charges filed. That's weird. He also says he'd clear Melanie's home of bad spirits and told Lori where to find 3 quote-unquote listening devices in Melanie's home. Finally, he says he was heading to bed so he could snuggle with her and excitedly tells her he'll see her in a minute. Yeah, that's gross. July 19, 2019, Melanie Boudreaux, now Pulaski, texts Lori Vallow to tell her about her new burner phone to use for emergencies and to encourage Lori to take out a life insurance policy on JJ and Tylee. It's Melanie Lee, my clear line. I'll use it for emergencies. If you have something you want to send to this phone, text me a monkey covering his eyes, and I'll know to look in this one. A smiley face. July 20th, 2019, Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell speak about Melanie Boudreaux's son, Blake, and indicating he is close to death. Lori, what's Blake's percentage? Lori also asked, he drew 3 crosses on the wall in his bedroom. We just finished painting over them. Lori also says, like he was marking it for the dark side to find him. Chad says, Blake is at 7. I took my sword of light and sliced his aura vertically in several places. You should be able to now rip and burn it. Chad also says, I also decreased his pain tolerance to 1% and greatly increased his pain. His desire to depart is at 80%. Sounds like they were working on those kids first. Like, anyways. July 21st, 2019, Melanie Boudreaux tells Lori Vallow she should take out life insurance policies on JJ, Tylee, and herself. You should get a life insurance policy on JJ, Tylee, and you. Because after Charles, we see that anything can always happen if it's in the Lord's will. Stupid. July 25th, 2019, Chandler PD Detective Moffitt requests Alex Cox's criminal file from Travis County, Texas for the assault on Joseph Ryan. July 30th, 2019, Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow have another text exchange about death percentages. Lori says, good morning, missing you, didn't sleep much, I need you to check JJ. Weird stuff happened in the middle of the night. It's like they distracted us with Blake. With a kiss emoji. Chad says, I got the inspiration to go back to my original death percentages that helped us track Charles, Ned, etc. Tammy is very close. Her percentage has fallen steadily since Hiplos left. It is encouraging. Heart and kiss emoji. Lori, what is the percentage now? What about JJ's too? Chad, Tammy is at 3. JJ is at 2. Both are being heavily shielded to stop intruders. Lori, 2 and 3%, not 0. Chad says, I will explain when we talk. Chad also says, I will update the list and figure out Brandon, Adam, and others. They're crazy. Weird and crazy. Deadly, but weird and crazy.
Okay. I did my dragon microphone again. Blake Boudreaux was like really, really close to being the next one.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, and
I
this is
don't-
in July
Yes.
of 2019.
We're-
This is before JJ and Tylee.
Yeah.
So
Wherever you're
I
at,
mean,
Blake Boudreaux, like,
yeah. I want this
kudos.
trial for them to.
Yes.
They
Yes.
deserve to know the truth about their mother and their aunt
Yeah.
and their uncle.
Yes.
Great uncle,
And-
great aunt, whatever.
Yeah. And so it's not just about Brandon. So people will look at this as just like, Brandon's trial and Lori's on trial for conspiring to unalive him, but it's
the kids
also
were
about,
in danger. Yeah.
yes, yep, and he did an amazing job of secreting them away after he was shot
Yep.
at, because
I
she
mean,
went totally
yeah.
nutso. She went totally nutso. She went like off the rails trying to track them down. And Blake, like wherever you're at, Blake, bro, you were on the list next, like before JJ and Tylee. Like this
And
is
they lost their cousins. It's sad.
it is
so
and but even if they didn't, there wasn't an attempt made on their lives, because Brandon did an amazing job of protecting them. After that, they still had to go through so much bullcrap bullshit.
They're
with
still being
with
used as pawns.
Yes, yep, they totally are. And also, I just got a text. I met somebody in the first trial that just came one day to attend the trial, and she just sent me a text saying she's listening tonight. So Jesse, I just want to say, hey, thanks for listening in tonight. I appreciate it.
Yes, definitely appreciated y'all. I mean, just
Say
Jesse.
hey to Jesse. Yes.
Hey Jesse. Hey Jesse, thanks for listening. Thanks for going too. That's a
Yep.
task.
Your mom met her that day, and that was so
Oh,
kind of
okay.
her.
Awesome.
Yes.
Really good. I'm glad to hear that, I wish I could be there. I wish I could stand to be there, like inside the courtroom. It just is so heavy. It's so heavy.
It is,
And
and it is just for me being on the outside looking in. It's heavy. I cannot imagine for you, like what it was for you in Idaho, and what it was like for your mom in Idaho and here, and having to testify in both. Yeah, it's a lot. It is heavy. So nobody blames you. You're putting a whole lot of love into what we're doing right now, and that's awesome. This is crazy. This is crazy.
It is. I mean, I need a whole army to freaking deal with the craziness and separate it and go over it with, analyze it. It is crazy, and they are crazy. They are certified. I would even certify them if I had a sticker or a stamp or, the letters after my name.
Or a rack belt control remote.
Yes.
Control rack belt.
We need to auction that off. I swear. Oh my God. Yeah, girl, you still gonna wear that rack belt. Get used to it. And I mean, it makes me wonder what is she like planning on doing? It doesn't bother anybody else but her, I don't know. So August 4th, 2019, Melanie Boudreaux participates in prayer circle casting for Tammy Daybell, and Brandon Boudreaux, along with Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell, Melanie Gibb, David Warwick, Alex Cox, Zalema Pastinez, and Julie Clement. That's a big one. August 10th. According to the Rexburg Police Department, Alex Cox purchases a pew pew. August 31st, 2019, Lori, Tylee, JJ, and Alex, what about them? Anyways, I didn't make this timeline, y'all. September 2019, custody battle and religious shift. Melanie Boudreaux and Brandon are engaged in a contentious custody dispute. Melanie leaves the LDS. She does not leave the LDS church. I don't know who made this. It's pissing me off. It makes me like, I don't even want to go anymore.
I didn't make it. I promise. It's not.
I didn't either. And so whomever made it, great job almost. I mean, what do you want? Like, oh my God. It could be wonderful. It could be great and very helpful, but it's not. Okay. Because there's so many things that are wrong. So I don't want to put my stamp of approval on it to go any further. For real. Like
All
that
right.
just pissed me off. That just pissed me off.
Yeah, I get it.
Like, okay, I'm sorry. But damn, I'm sorry for saying sorry. I say sorry a lot.
Are you sorry you're sorry?
It's like close but no cigar, you know? Like, what the hell?
Right.
So I'm going to work on that so that whenever we go over more of this Tuesday, it will be right. Okay. And I'll put my name on it because that's some bullshit. I know, Jermaine, it's hard. That's why I said I'm sorry for saying sorry. Yeah, I'll make corrections and we'll get this up and ready just in time, basically. So I don't want to continue, saying it if it's not true.
Nope.
I don't want to sit here and be behind misinformation. Lord knows I speculate enough.
Yep, we got a ditch on it.
Yeah, I say so. I think that's a good idea. So I'm dreading this part, Joe. I'm dreading it.
I know. I'm feeling it already. Like I'm already like trying to distance myself, trying to keep it together. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to share a few videos of JJ in honor of what would be his 13th birthday. He would be a teenager today. And he came from, I was there at the hospital when he was born. And I remember his birth mom, Mandy. Yes, her and my brother were both drug users. But they were good people, just not together. They were toxic together. They had, obviously drug problems. Either way, it's like, without them, I would not have JJ. Without them, Lori would not have been able to adopt him just to freaking kill him. Okay. I'm just kind of like, without them, there would be no JJ. I would not be an aunt. He was like my brother. Okay. He was born to my brother, Todd. And like I said, it was a toxic relationship, but they were both good people outside of that, like they were good people, just not good together. And I love them for that. I love them for bringing me my only opportunity to be an aunt. Because my brothers had no more children. And something that a lot of people don't know is that after adopting JJ, I remember Lori talking to me about adopting. Mandy got pregnant again, but it was not by my brother. So it would have been JJ's half sibling, half sister. But not, it was Mandy got pregnant for another guy. and how she wanted her and Uncle Charles, I want to say, tried to adopt, but I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know enough to know what happened and why they were unable to actually adopt Mandy's little girl. Okay. All I can tell you today is that Mandy's little girl, the one that Lori wanted to adopt and name Tabitha, is alive. That's what I can tell you. She's alive because I would say Lori did not adopt.
Yeah.
Because I think there would have been another hole on Chad Daybell's property. So thank God for that. Thank God for unanswered prayers, so to speak. And I remember thinking about that. I was like, oh my God, how awesome. That's, she's a mixed biracial baby. And just to do that just so that, oh my gosh, okay, hold on. So that JJ would be able to have a relationship with his half sister. Wow, that's so big and huge. But thank you, God, okay, for not allowing that to happen, because that little girl's alive today, and it's no help from Lori. Okay. So that's pretty big. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
can do this together. We can do it together.
I know. I'm sitting there, I'm like, it's hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me pull these up here. Let me scooch them closer so I can find them. The music is okay. Let's see. I don't even know. I think Don. This is just, oh crap. I hit the wrong button, y'all. Hit the wrong damn button. My extremities are even hesitating. Okay.
That's the story of my life. That's the
yes.
story of my life. Hitting the wrong damn button.
Right. Hey, Megan. Glad you're here, girl. Let me see if I can find it with all my video YouTube tabs that are open. Well, here, we'll try this one first. Hold on. I got to open another tab just to switch it. This was him. My brother's holding him. Mandy's video on him. Mandy passed away in 2015. He has gas.
What daddy's doing to that baby? Oh, I'm so tired.
Oh gosh.
I'm so tired, Daddy.
So precious. Oh my gosh. His eyes are the same though. His eyes never change.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, pretty boy.
Look, he is zoning out.
Big pretty eyes, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, big pretty eyes.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, huh? Hi,
Yes,
Daddy.
Mom?
Hi, Daddy. I love you, Daddy. Yeah. I love you, Daddy.
There's a spark in those eyes, though. There is a spark in those eyes. Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, he's so pretty. What's Daddy doing? What's Daddy doing, huh? What's Daddy doing? Yeah. What's Daddy doing? Huh? Look at him. What are you doing, Daddy? What are you doing?
He's hanging on.
Please take with me, Patty. I'm gonna think I'm a movie star when I grow up. Everybody's always taking me. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so pretty. Say hi, Mama Trahan. Hi, Mama Trahan. Hi, Papa Dennis. Hello, y'all. Hi.
His name was Kanan. Todd.
Yep.
Hi. Tell Papa Dennis hi again. Hi, Papa. Hi, Papa. Hi. I'm 11 pounds today. Yeah. I'm a big boy. Yeah.
I was there. I was there when she gave birth, and he fought coming into this world. Just, I remember looking at him with all the wires and all the things that were attached to him. He was born 10 weeks premature, and Mandy like gave birth in ICU, like it was, or NICU, or I don't know, whatever. Like she had a very, oh yeah. This is in my early days of editing.
His eyes are the same to the very last video that you've shown me of him. Like,
I know.
I could see, and he has such a spark in his eyes at that age. I could see the spark in his eyes.
Yeah.
And if anybody's coming in late, today is JJ's 13th birthday, and
Yeah.
he gets to celebrate it in heaven. So, but we're going to celebrate it here too.
This is actually Natalie. This is Ian Plowski's ex-wife. I'm sorry, y'all. This is back in my early days, so I don't know what the hell. But this is they're visiting the property. They're talking about Brandon. I don't know. This automatically played, but while that goes, I'm going to grab the next one. This one gets me. Oh, okay. All right. Here's this one. This one makes me lose my shit every time. So let me stop this other one. This is his Life Academy. Okay. They honored JJ this day.
So Fox 10 is the station that's out of Phoenix, Arizona. It's
Right,
the one that Justin Lum is a reporter that has been following the case since the beginning too.
I can't find words ever.
That JJ attended. They held a memorial for JJ. And this happened at the Laurel Institute for Education. It's a school that serves adults and children with behavioral and developmental issues and disabilities. Fox 10's Brian Kay has that story.
Oh, I hope you're dancing in the sky. I hope you're sailing in the angels' choir.
We were so hopeful that, he was going to be found, he was going to come home. When we received the news that they had found JJ, we just, we lost it.
JJ, you were taken from us and this world too soon. We will miss you, but never forget you. Is this the last call for JJ? Rest in heaven, JJ. We will watch over all your friends from here.
Now we owe it to JJ to honor him, and now we do need to speak out for him, and we do need to speak out for all that he was and all that we've lost.
I miss his smile, I miss his laughter, I miss, our Friday dance parties and just celebrating all of our successes. And he was just a fun boy to be around and just really did love everyone.
JJ was a great kid. A lot of times in the work that we do, we kind of prepare ourselves to lose some of our students, but you're never prepared for something like this. And JJ deserved a lot better.
You are our angel, our darling, our star, and our love will find you wherever you are.
I bought that book.
We love you, JJ.
They all needed to cry. They all needed to honor JJ. And I think they all needed this moment in time to know that it's okay to be sad. And now we can move forward.
Oh, God. Dang.
Gilbert School that JJ.
Sorry. I'm bouncing around like a ping pong. Okay. Yeah, that's so sweet of his school to do that. This is JJ Kisses. Oh. Yay. Do it again. My daughter. They used to have competitions. Cancel. God dang, that's quick. Quick draw McGraw, huh?
Give me another one.
Oh my God. You got to be on the horn over here. And hold on. This one. Hold on just one second. Get it pulled up. Oh, that's so cute. This reminds me of my brother when he was his age. Tylee's recording. Oh, yeah. This one good.
Hey, buddy. Hey, Mama. Hi, Papa. You have David. Give me a hug. Leave him lion. Hey, Papa. Yeah. Give me Papa.
Come here and give me a hug. Oh, my man. I love you so much. Oh, look how big you are.
Yes.
Go.
David.
Where's your jacket, buddy? Oh, there it is.
David. You look lion.
You want Papa to carry it?
Oh, okay. This is my mom would always like her videos would save at these horrible qualities. Okay, so blame it on Kay. But they're at I want to say Disneyland, whatever's over there in California, I think.
Hey, JJ.
My daughter,
Joshua.
JJ.
Up here, buddy. Come
There you go.
He just did it, Winnie the Pooh.
Look at Mama. JJ. Hey. Come on. JJ, look here. JJ, look here. Look at Mama. Look here. Thank you. Look at Mama. Say cheese.
He's not digging having that giant creature behind him. He was not digging that.
Thank you.
That's so cute.
From my heart.
Thank you.
Oh.
Lips, Ashlyn's hair.
Lori did a horrible job.
Beautiful.
No, but
Show your bear. I'll send this to you, Mom. JJ.
he never would say
Aunt
it. He wouldn't do it.
He goes, hi, Crusher.
No, say
It-
hi, Aunt Crusher.
Hi, Crusher.
Say Aunt
Aw.
Nope.
Hey.
He'd rather put a hair clip on his hand.
Yep.
Anyway, we're getting ready to go
Bye,
to
Mom.
Knott's Berry Farm. Tell her where we're going today.
We're going to Knott's Berry Farm. All these
And
humongous roller coasters.
and
Huh?
and
Huh?
the beach.
Ma'am?
Oh, and the beach. The Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean.
Oh, okay. I don't know how to get that. That's so cute. Oh,
It is.
Lori looked like she on the Bible practice.
Take it and go. Take it and go.
Oh, this is fun.
Hi! No, Paul! No touching and no toys! No!
He had rules, man.
No!
That's Ranger. Oh my God. This next one is I'm gonna have to like kind of mute some of the parts because it's got. I'll show you. This is my brother. This is after they died, and so yeah. So my friend Jen, the L mom, sent this precious gift for Christmas 2021 to me, my parents, and my brother Todd, who is JJ's biological father. Proof that love always wins. Anyways, he didn't tear into it. A crazy president over there. I'm not either. Isn't it beautiful? She made it herself. And then you take the. I don't know why. I just got a new phone. And apparently, I suck at it. But there's some sound waves on the front, and there's a barcode on the side. And so you scan the barcode, and this happens. It was just a very thoughtful gift, and I thank her for that.
Yeah. It's an amazing picture. I used that on one of my thumbnails early on. I didn't know how precious
Yeah.
that was.
It is.
Yeah.
My uncle's last words to me were, "How do we get to Todd?" That's what Uncle Charles asked me. So you never forget their voices. I get you can't hear a damn thing.
I can hear enough,
You
and I
don't
can
s-
see his. I can see
he's
his
not-
reaction.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
And now I'm gonna have to mute it. I think. Well, that's what it played on the sound waves.
A, B, C. Say your ABCs, JJ. Say your ABCs. A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
Yes, you do, JJ. You know them.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
He's like, wait, what?
Yeah. Take a load
Hi,
off.
Mama. Hi, Papa. Say hi, Mama. Hi, Papa. Yeah.
Deal, Mom. I'll just go back and take it off later. You'll have to do the same thing. Just mute it. Oh wow. Isn't it pretty? Yeah. She made it herself, like Mod Podge. She's like, Mod Podge. I'm like, I buy Mod Podge. Right? Well, see on the side the QR code? Scan it for me real quick.
Us old people need to be told to scan that QR code.
Yeah. Press play. Press play whenever.
That is a really cool gift. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Right? What a
I
winch.
suck at these
She
kind
got
of
me too.
situations. I'll make it awkward.
On the picture, Mom? She's like, that way you never forget what their voices. Because I was like, what if you do forget their voices?
I have videos that have voice.
But do you see the front of the photo? It's the sound waves.
That was my favorite part.
Yes. Whatever. And it's forever. That's. Hi. Anyways. I just thought that was the coolest gift ever.
I hate that because it makes them hurt.
Okay, I'm
And
gonna
then I don't know,
Yeah.
you know.
They keep believing they're just
All right. Yeah, that song is definitely not available. It is for copyright.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the last. It should.
Another fish. So baby back. Look at that. Hey, JJ. Hold up here. There. Okay. There you go. Hold him up. There you go. Proud fisherman. The second fish, JJ. I think that's what it is. Third fish. The third fish, sorry.
That's Uncle Bobby.
All right, other fish. Little baby bat. Well, let's see. Look at that. Hey, JJ, hold your fish. Here, hold up here. There. Okay. There you go. Hold him up. There you go. Proud fisherman. Yeah, turn him sideways. That's the second fish, JJ. I think that what it is. Third fish. Third fish, sorry. Woohoo! All right.
Love them now. That hat. That's for sure. It's the birthday before. Yeah. Oh, go. All right. I beat it. Anyways, yeah, that was pretty tough.
Yeah. I have one request. Can I make a request from the DJ?
Sure.
the song that he sang on the tour bus with.
Okay. With Larry.
Yep, with Larry.
I'd forgotten that I even captured that, and it's wild to think how whenever it was Christmas Eve 2019, Mom had his shark pajamas hanging, like that way when we do see him, he'll get his shark pajamas, but they're still hanging. And so this is in March of 2019 when I captured this. Oh, did I switch my angle? No, I did not. Let me stop and do this again. So yeah, and this was March 2019 whenever Mom left Lake Charles and went to Arizona to help Uncle Charles pack to move to Houston.
Yeah.
And so JJ got to run amok, okay, without Mom being there. And so, Mom and Larry owned Coastal Crew Change and the fleet of the vehicles, really. But this was the 56 passenger bus that I had just finished cleaning. So we just rode to the corner store to fill it up. And I was just trying to entertain the boys while Larry was paying. So.
Telling lies. Open for. The bus is coming. Passengers, and we're getting fuel up all the time. Along the lots of I got it again. And we're taking off the Coastal Crew Change.
Thank you for riding.
Okay. My mom argued with me. She was like, "That's me." I'm like, "No, that is me." And so we sound alike, apparently, to her too.
Hey, why y'all eat it? All right.
Coastal Crew Change.
Welcome to Coastal Crew Change.
Welcome to Coastal Crew Change.
I'm your bus driver, JJ.
I'm the bus driver, Purple.
And I'm also the MC.
I'm also if all side air. You.
Woo! Thanks for riding Coastal.
And I can all I could all Coastal Cruising. Coastal Cruising is all.
Freestyle.
I want to do all sing it all.
Look, pull it away from your mouth a little bit and we can hear you better.
Oh, I could all.
Say hi. Say hi to Momo and,
Hi, Momo.
and Dad.
Hi, Dad.
Say miss you.
I miss you.
We kind of miss y'all too. Just a little bit.
You too.
But we're having fun.
We're having fun.
All right. Say bye.
Bye. Papa telling lies. Papa, open the one. Da 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 da
Say welcome to Coastal Crew Change.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over.
You need to go on American Idol.
Johnny as Papa.
But you got to do the Coastal Crew Change.
It's roads come to Coastal Crew Change. Welcome to Coastal Crew Change.
Hey, and say the driver is Papa Larry Woodcock.
The driver is Papa Larry Woodcock.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
And come back.
Come back.
And pay your bill on time.
Yeah. Pay your bill on time.
Anyways. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh my
I think
gosh.
that's my favorite. Honestly, I think that's my favorite.
I forgot I had that. And so they had just announced that the kids were missing public, to the public, publicly. And so it's immediately following that, because it was like December 20th or 21st, whenever they made the announcement, Rexburg police. And I found that video and I sent it to Larry. I'd forgotten that I had even recorded it that March. And I sent it to him, and I noticed he like leaned back in his chair and he was just all up in his iPad. And he even like he leaned forward. He's like, look, that part where he grabs the microphone and he says, turn out the lights, the party's over. And he showed where JJ, in the reflection of the window, you could see JJ just jumping up and down in excitement. He just loved that part. And I'm glad I captured that. You know, it was just one of those things. I just fixed that microphone and I was just trying to entertain.
I'm glad that you have brought JJ to life for me and for people that are following us and watching us like that. That means so much to me because it's it's not a true crime trial that I'm attending. It's
real lives.
It's not a YouTube channel that I'm producing. This is getting justice for JJ and Tylee and Charles and Tammy and Joe. It's way more than just, going to a trial, like us sharing documents and going over documents together. At least for me, it's more than that.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, I had to remove comment. Don't really have to do that, but sometimes. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, thank y'all for being here and for just, doing this is hard to do.
It is. It is because he was such a beautiful little boy. And
I wish I could do the same for Tylee. We weren't close,
Yeah.
We weren't. I'm
Right.
just being honest. I'm not going to sit here and try and pretend, but I try to do as much as I can. I mean, you don't see JJ without Tylee. You don't see Tylee without JJ. And I'm so glad that they at least had one another for the most part.
Right.
At the very end.
And Colby was there too with Tylee, and he has given her a little bit of a voice too. So
Yes.
I appreciate that from him.
Thank you. Now I'm gonna go cry. That's what I do.
It's too late for me. It's water under the bridge, over the bridge, whatever. I'm there already.
But it's real life. These are real lives. And his best friend was Braxton, Brandon and Melanie's son, one of their sons. And anyways, I mean, it's heart-wrenching, especially to know that it seems like this was going to be the fate of at least two of the four kids that Brandon and Melanie share.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm glad that at least it spared their lives, and I'm glad Brandon's life was spared, and he's the only witness that's living that will actually face Lori Vallow Daybell in this upcoming trial. So for what it's worth, I mean, it's worth his justice and his kids' justice, in my opinion. So,
yep.
Anyways, all right, guys. We'll be back Tuesday. I'll have a timeline that's corrected to the best of my ability, but we'll dive deeper into that rabbit hole Tuesday. See you next Tuesday, right? So,
all right. Yes. See you next Tuesday. Happy birthday, JJ.
Happy birthday, JJ. Justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. Love always wins. You guys are proof.